good.
Hop over
Yeah.
here.
Oh,
I'm
great, great.
we're gonna jump in this firing range where we will be chilling
Yeah,
for the remainder of this.
Yeah, I'm gonna do the same. Um, just gonna go in there. I think we should probably do our own individual firing ranges because I know we'll probably get the itch to shoot something.
Yeah.
So, for the sake of audio quality and just like having a clear audio for both of us, I think it would be probably
Absolutely.
for the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so I sent you the thingy from what you asked a while back. I think starting from like the very beginning would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on with my social right now. But there you go.
It's
Okay.
having a doohickey of a time.
Yeah, it's like it's not posting. It's like cannot send tweet. It's like oh.
Rude.
Well, let's start it off with my all-time favorite question to ask. How did you first get involved? Like, when did you first hear about this?
I heard about this. Like, this was actually, I remember when it dropped because it was a surprise drop. Like, they didn't announce it, they didn't do anything on social media or anything. It was rumored for a while, but they didn't post anything about it coming out. And one day it was just like live. And they're like, "Hey guys, go check out this, creator of Titanfall. They just created a new battle royale. Go check it out." And I was like, "Oh wow!" And I saw the trailer. I was like, "Oh wow!" And I was like, "Okay, I'll go see. I'll go see. I've played some Call of Duty. I know how to do FPS and all that good stuff. So I figured I'd go out there and check this out." And instantly just was attracted to the characters, the abilities, the map, and the lore was intriguing. It was just classic Kings Canyon at that time, and it was like, okay, it's like this is a cool vibe, and it was something that not a whole lot of cyberpunk or dystopian properties can actually grab me because they're either too dystopian or they're not dystopian enough. Or they're a certain type of dystopian that's just not my vibe. This one just ticked all of my dystopian vibes because it was still technologically advanced for like space travel and like laser weapons and all that shit, but everything was still very real and boots on the ground when it came to the characters and where they come from, how they have their own personal style. Um, all of it, the different personalities definitely added to that as well. So it definitely ticked a lot of my boxes early on. Um, but yeah, like that's how I got into it. And this actually came out, I don't know, maybe a couple weeks after I had made that investment to start streaming. So I had started trying to play stuff and just get into this. I was playing like I remember playing all the way through my first Uncharted playthrough before I found Apex. So it was probably a month or two. Um, so yeah, I had played a few things while live and stuff while I was starting this career path, and it was like, so this came out, and I was like, oh wow, okay, I'm gonna be playing online. Might as well go out there and meet people and see if I can market a little bit. Say I'm live on Twitch, go check out my channel, all that stuff, and go hang out with people. So that was definitely a big step for me. Quicksilver, what's up? We are talking about our journey with Apex Legends. We have not been playing it for a while, but yeah, just talking about how we got into it and
about 2 seasons now,
yeah,
give or take.
but yeah, no, we're just talking about it. I'm just running around the firing range while I talk and stuff, but yeah, no, back to that. I remember they dropped this, and I was having a lot of fun with it. I didn't do any like hardcore online multiplayer prior. So this was like my first super online playing with people, playing competitively scene. But yeah, I really enjoyed all of this. Bro, I'm max level. Not from this stupid update that they did where you can prestige, quote
Was it max
unquote. But
level?
no, I've been max level for what, 10 seasons already?
No, it's been 13 seasons.
13
We've been maxed
seasons?
out.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Like when I went to check my stats on that one website, I was like level 700 or something.
Oh, I believe
Like,
it.
yeah, I was like already up there, and it's yeah, like that tracking site, whatever that's called. I can't remember
Yeah.
off the top of my head, but you know,
Yeah. No, rank
it'd be
wise,
OP.
I don't do ranked, so I'm just at the
No,
bottom.
never did.
Angel. But yep. No, I fell in love with this game. This was a great place to just kind of jump in, and I didn't have a whole lobby of people to talk to whenever I dropped in. It was just two other people.
Hmm.
So it wasn't as daunting when it came to my social anxiety. So it was nice to drop in and say like, "Hey guys, what's up?" And then I'd have two people respond, and it was like, okay. It just felt a little more personal when it came to talking to people and
Definitely.
breaking that ice for me personally, just to get out there and talk. But um, so yeah, I started doing that, and a couple weeks, I don't know, maybe a month went by of me playing that, and I ran into you.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
So we'll throw it
About a
back over
month
to
or
you,
so.
dude. How did you get started in
Okay.
this?
Give me one sec here.
Oh, you're good.
Mm. Was chewing some pork chop. Anyway,
Absolutely.
um, oh man, from what I remember, that far back at least, at the time I was working at the current place that I'm working at, and a lot of us were kind of like younger dudes and gamers at the time. Um, and there was this one guy, his name's Matt. Now Matt not isn't much of a gamer from what I remember, but he wanted to get into some games, and he would ask people. Um, we kind of had like a sort of repertoire that we just kind of like talked to each other when we were around, and kind of helped each other out at work when it was convenient, whatever.
Yeah.
And there was a day where he just like rolled up on his forklift or whatever it was, and he was just like, "Yo, so I hear you got like experience with like video games. Like, what do you play?" So at the time, I was playing a lot of Tomb Raider and a little bit of Overwatch and blah blah blah. And he's like, "Yup, yup, yup. That's what they said. That's what they said. That's what they said." And he never really told me at that time who he was talking about, like who said what to him. But he's like, "Have you heard like you play FPS, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, I play FPS." And he's like, "Cool, cool, cool. Have you heard about like Apex Legends?" I'm like, "I might have seen a trailer for it, but like it's kind of like a recent thing or something, right?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah, like it just like dropped, or they're going to drop it, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Okay, so what do you want me for?" And he's like, "Well, those guys over there were telling me how you're just like FPS and you were competitive at one point." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like I mean, it wasn't like a big competitive thing that I did, because like when people say, 'Oh, you did a competitive thing,' people like assume like you had like a straight up career in it
Yeah, you went to
and like
tournaments and
had
stuff.
your and went to tournaments. Yeah, when I did competitive, we did do a few tournaments, but it wasn't like a big fucking thing. It was
Yeah.
it was like it was just like on a server that they gave us a code for, not
Mhm.
something huge like internationally and televised and whatever.
Yeah.
But I did do like he wasn't wrong. Like he got his info correct. But
Mhm.
and he's like, "I just want your opinion on the game. Do you mind watching the trailers and kind of like giving me your feedback?" And I'm like, "Well, what do you want to know?" And he's like, "Well, I want to play it." And I'm like, "Well, what's your style?" And he would kind of express his gameplay choices and whatever. And I was like, "Cool, I'll look into it." I watched. I remember. I think it was like the first animation, like their launch trailer
Yeah.
or whatever. And I remember just kind of like, okay, they got personality. That's decent. That's not something you always get with your hero things. Normally, they're like a blank slate with some decent voice lines, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um,
Valorant.
but these guys
Anyway.
had their thing, right? So what ends up happening, I start watching all the Meet the Legend trailers. Like you got your Mirage trailer specific, you got your Wraith, and blah blah blah. And I was like, cool, cool. And the thing was, he wanted me to watch the Legend specific trailers because he wanted to play the Ninja Girl or the robot. And I was like, okay.
Okay.
So I ended up, I started watching the trailers, and then like 2 days later, I think, give or take, because he worked on even days, not odd days. So
Yeah.
2 days later or whatever, he comes up to me. He's like, "So, what do you think?" And I'm like, "I think you'd be good with the ninja girl," because like I didn't remember the names at the time because I really wasn't really all that invested. For some context as to why I wasn't invested was it like give or take a couple months prior to that moment, I
Yeah.
had just left some of these competitive teams. Um, due to like as cliche and stupid as it sounds, I left because of creative differences.
Creative
But it,
differences.
it like just to like be polite and not because I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna watch today.
Yeah.
Because I might have blabbed, but my point is people know who I'm talking about when I say creative differences, and that's polite enough.
Yeah.
So, um, what ended up happening was these two people that were like sort of the team leaders of this competitive team I was on kind of wanted to splinter off into their own separate groups, and they kind of like cherry picked the people that they wanted.
Okay.
And let's just say by the time they got to me, it left a bad taste in my mouth, and I wasn't really pleased with how they were kind of looking down at some of the people
Yeah.
and how they decided to,
Pathfinder.
you know,
Yeah.
more or less kind of breeze through people, like
Hmm.
not as people, but as cogs in a machine, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't like that. It kind of hurt my feelings given how the time and the effort that I gave them was like another, 2.5 years prior.
Yeah.
So after that, I just broke off from gaming and I kind of did my own solo thing. Like, played solo adventure games at the time, mainly Tomb Raider, amongst other things. But anyway, so I wasn't really interested in picking up another team-based multiplayer game. So it ended up kind of being one of those things where he was really wanting to get into it, and he, for whatever reason, I don't know, like even till this day, I still don't know why he chose me, but he said he wanted my opinion, he wanted my thoughts. And given what I knew about his gameplay style, like the one thing that came to mind was like, yeah, you'd be perfect with Wraith, and maybe not Pathfinder because you're not wanting to go up into, you're not mobility. Mobility is not your thing. So I would say maybe go for Wraith for sneak attacks, for,
Yeah.
stuff like that. So he's like, who would you play? And I was like, funnily enough, I'd probably play Wraith. And he's like, really? Why? And then we kind of got into it, and it was really interesting. Um, but like, yeah, that would have been my first introduction into it, and which kind of leads me into my next question for us. Um, what was it that got you to stick around when you eventually did get your hands on it? If you do you want to go ahead, or should I
Yeah, we can
continue?
jump back and forth. Yeah, that'd make it
Okay,
just
yeah.
kind of keep it fresh.
Uh,
That way one person doesn't have the floor for too long.
oh, Angel.
Me personally, I dropped in, and when you landed, the only two characters that they had, well, I think they had like what, four? They had four available, and then there was two that were locked, and you had to unlock them. And the two that were locked were um, Mirage and Caustic.
And Caustic, yeah.
And when I started, that's the first thing I did. It's a game. I'm picking. If I have to pick a character, I'm gonna go through the characters and see which one I like the most and see. And as soon as I hit that list, Mirage was my favorite. And it was like,
Mm.
ooh, his skills. Ooh, the person. I like the personality. I like the skills. I like his vibe. But he's locked. I was like, okay. At that time, you needed legend tokens in order to unlock legends. So I was like,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm gonna have to pick someone to play. So at that point, when I started playing, I picked up Pathfinder. Pathfinder was my second. I was just like, oh, I like the vibe of this robot, and also I have a thing for robots. It's just like if it's a sentient robot, it has a personality. I will hug that thing until the day I die. But no, I loved Pathfinder, and so I was like, okay, I'll jump in here. I didn't know how to use the skills. I barely knew how to use the guns. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna jump in here. I'm gonna play some matches, maybe kill someone. I'll try not to die, and I'll try and get as many points as I can, and I'll get my boys. So I was like, okay. So I dropped in there with Pathfinder, had barely a career, and then yeah, once I got Mirage, I've been a Mirage main ever since. Picked up a couple
Yeah.
legends after that, but yeah, just straight up diehard Mirage main, all the way till the end.
Definitely.
But yeah,
Yeah.
no,
I
that's
love that.
yeah, and he's really the main reason I've been around this long. I've gotten better with him in
Yeah.
different ways that I didn't know I could get better, and I dedicated that time and energy here and was able to put my own play style on him and bring something else to the battlefield that no one I haven't seen anyone else do, and I've been so happy that I've had such a successful career with him, and have so many matches that are just mind blowing, and we've pulled off some crazy
Absolutely.
stuff that are all over our YouTube. If you guys want to just go and look at both of our YouTube channels, it's loaded with Apex
We
Legends
will have
stuff.
links in our descriptions later for
Absolutely,
sure.
absolutely.
Like the greatest hits. I'll have his perspective and mine, and then
Yep.
we'll post it together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, just cause like he's not joking, man. Like we have some, like it sounds like we're exaggerating, right? Because of course it sounds like an exaggeration. We're
We're,
mind blown over some of the stuff that we did, but it's real. Like it's all real. It's all true.
we've got it all recorded, and 9 times out of 10, it's me and him playing in trios. And that end game is
Like a
us
duo.
against, yeah, and it's me and him up against that either that last team or those last two teams, and it's 6 people, 3 people,
Yeah,
and it's like
for real.
the odds are 33% against us in most of those turnouts, and we end up turning that around and walking away,
Yeah.
and it's amazing to watch just how it works. But it's it's
Yeah, for
it's it's
real.
been a good time, and I've been really happy with my career with him. But it is because of him, his personality, his vibe, and just wanting to be here and wanting to play, and just the desire to bamboozle is real.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it's
I can see
yeah,
that.
it's definitely it's
I have
definitely
seen it.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely because of him.
definitely. No, I get that.
So we'll throw that right back at you, bro.
Honestly, it's interesting that when I first got involved, um, I remember picking Wraith. No, sorry, Pathfinder. I meant Pathfinder. My bad. But I remember picking Pathfinder just because I wanted to see what mobility would be like. Um, like how big that range was, how big, you know, what was the scope of what a mobility legend would be like. Like I wanted to know and I wanted to understand it. And when I realized how complicated it actually was, I was like, this is going to be interesting for me to learn. Because one of the things I really liked about having played competitively for uh, like I don't even know 2.5 years roughly, was the fact that we actually had to communicate with each other. We had to constantly be verbal. We have to genuinely and thoughtfully be ahead of ourselves in every aspect. Like we have to not only condition ourselves to learn every weapon that we decide to pick up and master, but we also have to understand the weapon of the guy next to us. Like it was mandatory. Like when I got assigned my squad, like to be a part of a squad, I had to learn everything about those people in terms of gameplay and what they decided to choose and pick up. So if for anyone who's watching my end of this, one of the first weapons I picked up was the 301, right, the carbine, and I freaking love this gun because it says it's like your Wonder Bread, like it goes good with anything.
Yeah.
And it really does tickle your funny bone every now and then with how satisfying it can really be. And the funny thing was, I was like, oh, so we have different tiers for attachments. You have you have your what was it? I called it tin for silver. Come back soon, Angel. We had your blue, your purple, and now eventually we got our red. And I was like, oh, that's very interesting. So like each tier has like a different effect on each gun. And what I ended up learning was what tier worked best for me. Do I want a purple barrel stabilizer? Do I want a tin stock? What type of magazine would I want? And I kind of mixed and matched.
Yeah.
And from the 301, I went down that list with every other gun in the game that I thought would be best for me. So it went from the 301, Peacekeeper, Ava or Eva, whatever you want to call it. I went through the I'm drawing a blank. 99, and then for my final destination on terms of light weapons, it was the alternator. For whatever reason, a compact weapon has always been something that worked out for me, regardless of what game it was. It
Yeah.
always worked for me. and I ended up learning that to a T and having like the weirdest combinations of like tiers for every attachment to the point when some people wanted the gun because they needed a gun, I just hand it over and they'd be like, I can't control this. And but the funny part was I could because it was specifically designed for me.
Yeah.
And I loved that shit. Now, once I learned that, I moved on to shields and then helmets and then backpacks. And then I was like, what tier do I need for the beginning of the match? Do I want blue or tin? Do I want purple before the mid game? Do I want it at the end game? And then it just became this whole thing that ended up filling a 30-page notebook that I had at the time, and it was just filled with mathematical equations as to what weapons did the most damage to a tin armor, blue armor, purple armor, gold armor, and then I went through all of that with attachments and what they did for recoil and blah 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 blah. And then that's what hooked me,
Yeah.
was the fact that I had to learn and actually be good at what I was picking up, regardless if I hated the gun or not. I had to learn.
I think this place needs a little more
And that
me.
was the thing that genuinely and most honestly gave me the biggest satisfaction at that time.
Yeah.
Um, well, later on, I did have to pick a legend, obviously. And you said yourself we were like a pathfinder at one point, just to sort of like clear a path directly to Mirage. And I think that's very interesting because I too picked Pathfinder. And that was very fun for me at the time as well. I did enjoy the character, and I'm not entirely sure why it hooked me. I think it was just like his genuine earnestness and his genuine innocence
Yeah.
at the time, but it wasn't for me. I eventually went with Wraith because I always had a thing for goths, but eventually, like as time went on, and we'll get to that as well, they kind of destroyed that character, and she no longer felt familiar to me.
Yeah.
But the character that always reigned supreme for me, even till like my final day of like the whatever the last time it was that I played this game, the last match I had was as Bangalore. And I'll never forget the shitty first match I had with her, but for whatever reason, it clicked. And I've told you this before too, bro. I know I've told you at least like a dozen times by now.
Oh yeah.
But the reason why she really clicked, like, it was her voice lines. Like that reassured, I know what I'm doing, I know what to do, we have this much time to get this job done, so we have to do it in that time or less. And I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because like when I joined this game, like when I started playing it, I was just like, dude, like what would my freaking team leaders want me to do? And then it just sort of became something that became like a voice in my head that like kind of coached me through mid game, you know, like early game, mid game, and end game.
Yeah.
And then eventually when I did find Bangalore and really stuck with her as my secondary for like the first season and a half, no, first 2.5 seasons as my secondary, and then really clinching it in the beginning hours of season 3, I was like, yeah, it's her voice lines that really captured me and genuinely made me feel like I was at home again in a military shooter.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, like your Call of Duties, your Battlefronts, and whatever, your Battlefields rather. And
Battlefront works too.
it works, yeah, and in a way, it was super interesting that that's what took me home and made me really feel comfortable here. And yeah, like it was super interesting to not only find success in the most basic run-of-the-mill mechanics of the game in terms of like attachments and picking a weapon, but also finding success in the legends that I picked very early on, and then kind of carrying that through. And if I could just lead with one more question in case you want to ask some of your own. My last question for the beginning era, I guess, of this whole thing was, what was the first moment of like, yeah, I freaking did it in the early hours of Apex for you? Like when I say early hours, I'm talking like seasons 1 through maybe 3. If you don't mind my asking.
Oh no, that's perfectly fine. Um, the early half of my entire career there's a little hazy because I was going through a lot of life stuff, so I had some anxiety
That's
and
true.
stress and stuff. So a lot of that's kind of hazy. But one moment I do remember was a big changer for me whenever I was playing this. Was I remember it was probably season 2 Kings Canyon,
Mm.
and I remember I was playing one night, and I had this very I died again. I'll learn. I'll figure it out. I did this wrong. I'll try and do it better next time. I did all that, but it was a very chill attitude about the whole thing and what I was doing there. And I remember one fight I had. I had all my guns, everything I needed, and this person had high ground on me. And they came out of, I think it was right below Tower of Baffle.
Oh yeah.
And
Lovely.
I was coming up into that village from the ground level, and they had jumped down from there. As soon as they started shooting at me, I literally did a 180 in an open field and ran for the nearest cover and died in 3 seconds. In that moment, I had just a complete eye opener of what I was supposed to do, and I was like, "Whoa!" I was like, "I'm actually gonna have to start getting good with these weapons, otherwise I'm just gonna keep doing this." I was like, "This is a habit I've developed. I gotta break this now if this is ever gonna get better." It's like, so that was a real eye opener for me when it came to playing this game and what I was gonna be doing here. And I was just like, I want to do better here, but I'm gonna have to start working on it. So I started looking up what I was supposed to do in order to improve my aim and improve my movement. I looked up tips and tricks for using my abilities, all those things. I did my homework, and
Yeah.
I went in there, and I went into season 3. I went into season 3 just on fire. I was like, I'm ready.
A changed man.
Absolutely. I was just like,
You
I
did your
was,
Rocky
I
montage
was,
essentially.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, and I was ready for it. And at some point during season 3, I remember picking up caustic, and that's when my caustic, the caustic
Right.
career that I actually forgot about in later seasons. I was just like, I really didn't have. He really wasn't my main, was he? Well,
Oh
836
yeah.
kills would say otherwise. I was like,
Oh man.
yeah, that was definitely season 3 into season 4. And I was like, so that kind of blew me away when I noticed that. But, I was a lethal caustic main in season 3. But that all came from all the practice and time I put in getting better at the game. I was actually getting kills whenever I dropped in. I was actually making it into top 5, top 3, getting second place. I was actually getting there, and I was getting better at a game I never thought I would get better at, because I always sucked at Call of Duty, and I never really cared enough to get better at Call of Duty. So my first online competitive scene was this, and I'm like, yeah, I might actually have to get better here if I actually want to feel good about playing this game. So I put that time in season 2, and it showed in season 3. And that was a really, that moment when I actually, in an open field, no, there was probably cover about 6 feet on all sides, and I literally did a 180 and started running away, and I died. It was just like, whoa. And it wasn't like, oh, I need to run away. It was like habitual. So I was like, oh, this is something
Interesting word.
I was like, I'm gonna have to break this one. It's like, cause I can't keep going on like this. It's like this is
No,
something
it's something.
I just developed it.
Exactly.
I was like,
about to
I
say,
was
it's
like,
something
I
that
need,
developed.
yeah,
It
and I
was
was,
second nature at that point. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, for real. I totally get that.
absolutely, and that
It's
was,
funny that you describe it that way because it's true. Yeah.
yeah, that was
There
that
was definitely
moment.
there was something like that for me too. Now that I think about it.
Yeah,
But
it was that moment.
that's
I was like,
crazy.
wait, I'm actually gonna have to break this, because it was like, it was so blatantly obvious that that was a bad thing. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this isn't gonna do me any good. So
No.
that was like, oh wait, I might
I
actually have to
really.
do something about this.
That's so cool. I really love this back and forth that we're doing because for those of you who are just joining us or like maybe don't know as much of our history as we've shared here and there, it's very 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 interesting that he and I are friends.
Very
It
like
shouldn't work.
horoscope, enneagram, personalities, interests, everything.
Yeah.
It
Oh
doesn't.
my God, you mentioned the Enneagram. Yes,
Yes,
yes.
bro.
Oh my God,
All of
it's
it.
so freaking weird
We
because everything under the stars has told us that we should hate each other and
except
automatically
we are
except
complete and utter geeky nerdy people.
exactly. Like, don't get me wrong, he does get under my skin every now and then,
Same.
but it's
Same.
not in this. No, right? Like, it's the truth. It's the truth. We're being honest today.
uh
But the funny thing is that genuinely makes me laugh when I think about it is the fact that it never really took hold of us in a way where we were like cutthroat. This guy's like my fucking enemy, and this guy needs to stop.
yeah.
It's never reached that point, but it's always kind of bubbled up at times. But then we always find a way to like healthily discuss what the problem is.
Yeah.
And I always kind of think that's been kind of funny, like in a cosmic sort of way, right?
Yeah.
Because his story literally tells you that he had this moment where he had to like genuinely think about what he was doing and how he was doing it, and then what he needed to do to change. I didn't have something like that. What happened to me, you remember this, you might have not been there for it, but my 420 badge, right?
Yeah.
I love this story, and I love having that badge on my banner because no one believes me when I tell that story.
Yeah.
But that was the big clincher moment. That was my, oh yeah, like I got this shit.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love that badge.
That's still
so
amazing.
Down 4, it's so amazing. I freaking love it. It's downing 4 enemies within 20 seconds. Or less.
Within 20 seconds of hitting the ground.
And no, it's in succession. It's not within hitting the ground. It's within succession.
So you down one, counter starts, and then you have to get 3 more before before 20 seconds. Holy shit!
Yeah. See, okay, so this all happened on Kings Canyon because Kings
Canyon's amazing.
It keeps on keeps on giving, man.
Absolutely.
It's God's gift to man.
I hate that there's a group of people that actually want it removed.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Yeah,
anyone
a little bit.
Who's ever said anything negative about Kings Canyon, you didn't have like a decent childhood there.
No one read to you before bed.
No, I'll never forget my moment there because it was a 301 Peacekeeper, and I was running up to that centerpiece, like that weird canyon thing outside of the bunker, where the freaking respawn beacon is.
Yeah.
And I freaking love it because I remember running up to go through there because my team, for whatever reason, they wanted to go through it and go up to farm. Well, we call it the farm. It doesn't have that name anymore, but it's up there, that facility that's there now.
Right at the top of that hill.
So, yeah, exactly, yeah. So they wanted to go through and go to that section, and I was like, okay, let me go ahead because I'm already here. I'll scope it out. So I ran up. Buddy is right there respawning his teammate, and I was like, no, down. Timer starts. He gets the respawn off, but he gets down, and then other buddy comes through sliding from that top left, and I'm like, that's weird. Their buddy that's respawning at this point hits the ground, has nothing, done. And then at this point, I'm practically empty on my 301. Dude who was coming down sliding happened to be running away from somebody who was chasing him.
Oh my god.
I empty out the remaining of the 301, swap to Peacekeeper, down that guy. And at the end of that match, I got the little notification that I had gotten
for your
that
420
badge.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And I was like, I'll never forget it. Because it was like the quickest, most intense moment of my career, probably, at the time. And that shit was fucking fast.
That's amazing.
I love it. It's my favorite moment, probably, of my earliest career. And that's just the freaking best. On the topic of us just being friends, meeting him was probably the best thing that happened to me, ever. Not just in game, but in life. Because it really did change my perspective on a lot of things. Not in just games, but in life as well. And I'm going to be really... It sounds super dumb to everybody who I've ever told, and no one believes me. but it was super genuine and earnest, much like his Legend of Choice. But it all happened as follows. I'll never forget it. I had a shitty match prior because my teammates just sucked and would not talk, even though they had mics on. You know,
That
the little symbol
that's
pops
a
up.
chronic thing, guys. You guys need to get better about that. If you got your mics
You
on
guys gotta
and you're
talk.
playing, you gotta talk. Get in there, be
You gotta
social, and
talk.
make friends. It's a healthy thing.
You, like, even if you don't want to say hi, just make your call outs happen, man. Like that.
Yeah.
That can make or break a game for real.
And if
But
if the
anyway.
only time you're gonna talk is just shit talk, then you better turn your mic off.
Mhm.
Say something
That's
productive
such
or don't say
toxic
anything at
behavior,
all.
bro.
There we go. Back to the point.
Yeah. No, back to the point. The point was is that I had a shitty match, and I was kind of I was about to leave the match that I'm talking about.
What's up, Jaws?
This man, Agent Retro, was just chattering my ear off. He was talking to probably nobody at the time, but he was talking nonetheless. And
Probably.
he's talking about his previous match and how he was like picking up the 301 and he wanted to learn about it and blah blah blah, and how somebody from not the previous match but the match before that one had told him about it, and he was going off on it. And I was like, that's really interesting that he wants to learn. That being the word that caught my attention. He wanted to learn. So I put my mic on, I turned it up, and I was like, you want to learn about the 301? He's like, yeah. Apparently it has really low recoil, like next to nothing if you have certain attachments on it. I'm like, that is true. Because at the time, that freaking gun was busted out.
That
And
gun
it
was
kinda
really
still is to an
busted.
extent.
Yeah.
And yeah, and like I remember we were just talking about it, and I'll never forget the lineup for the dropship. It was going straight for water treatment, now caustics treatment thing. And I'll never forget it because we touched down, and prior to us touching down, you made me laugh. You made me laugh, and that's all it took, because it reset my headspace, it reset my mood, and then from that moment on, we just talked for the entire match. And I remember, because you have this specific memory that I'm gonna call up, but you kind of always remember it out of order. But for
Probably.
me, it's clear as day because I super love that moment. Because there's a moment where we're heading down towards bunker, and there was like at the time there was like a small hill that you had to kind of climb up, and it's not there anymore because they obviously changed the map a bunch. But like there was a hill up there, so we're going up north. From there to go to Bunker Town and the left-hand side of Bunker, like the entryway going into blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we're going up, and then I remember just suddenly stopping because I heard a gunshot go off, bang, and I'm like, "Yo, hold up," and you're like, "What's up? What's going on?" And I'm like, "Just wait," and then it goes off again, bang, and it's a longbow, and I'm like, "There's a longbow northeast of us, about 200 meters out." I don't have enough equipment, but if you follow me this way, there's a little depot over here, like a little hut that we can get ammo, and there's usually a blue armor in there. And you're like, okay, yeah, let's go. And then we ran. Now, I always love it when you tell your side of it because you're like, oh, he knows what he's doing. I'll follow him. Funny thing is, I didn't really know what I was doing. I just remembered that depot from a previous match and always landing there and finding blue armor. And the only reason why I knew how far that longbow was because of the echo, and I counted it. And because of how many seconds you add to the echo, it tells you the distance. So if it's 2 seconds echo, it's 200 meters, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, 200 meters. So it'll be probably northeast, depending on the ring route, which is like the vibrant vibration that you get from an echo. And it came from my northeast, so I was like, it's got to be that way. So we have to go this way and get the ammunition and whatever, blah, 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 and then we'll go from there. And
You're proving my side of the story, right? You're
Well, no,
you're
no,
literally
it's
proving
just like-
you're proving my side of the story.
no.
You're literally
No,
explaining
it's not.
exactly. You know exactly what you're doing.
No, I did, because like it was super early in the career. Like, yes, to an extent, I knew what like certain things like.
Yeah.
I knew how to count a gunshot because of previous experiences.
Yeah,
So it wasn't
absolutely.
like I knew what I was doing in Apex, but I
Yeah.
knew what I was doing in the sense of like sound effects and
Yeah.
ring out and the echo and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But ever since then, ever since that moment, you made me laugh and you gave me the time of day to just be me. And there was an idea, and it belongs to this man right here. All he ever wanted was to have a space where people could come and watch and talk and just be themselves, to be accepted for who they were. And I am so happy to have been the first person to have stuck around and genuinely felt that way when playing with you. Because I've never had that prior to us meeting and you making me laugh and allowing me to be myself. I was allowed, given the opportunity to be loud and expressive of what I loved of comic books and pop culture. I told you
Resident
about my camp
Evil.
Resident Evil. I got to tell you my favorite memory of my dad when it came to comic books and Captain America specifically, and I got to tell you the origins of my nerdiness and how that came to be. And I didn't have any fear of being open about that part of me because prior to that, I didn't get that opportunity. So I'm just happy to have been the first to have been accepted in a larger pantheon of individuals that may come and come and go. But I always love that specific memory because it always leads to the larger picture and the like the the big, I guess, punchline of a really good joke was
Yeah.
that we shouldn't get along, but because of him giving me that chance and giving me the time of day, I was capable of just feeling myself.
Yeah.
There you go.
I did my best, and I love that memory too. And that was the day, that I found. It, it really, anyone who wants to pull out the argument that video games are antisocial and video games
Oh
waste
God.
your life away, you do not come at me with
That
that
sounds so
argument,
dumb.
because I will pull the soapbox that you stand on right out from under your feet because you have no factual evidence for anything that you're saying.
Unlike us.
I
For real,
have
bro. That
my
shit's real.
I have made and found my best friend
Hallelujah.
in this game,
Yeah.
and we've had
For
some
real.
serious ups and downs in this game,
Oh,
and
that's the truth.
we've made friends, we've lost friends, we've
We've
had
made enemies.
emotional breakdowns over this
Woo.
game.
Tell me more.
We have been so mentally confused as to how we feel about this. I'll speak for myself. I have had such a love for this game and love for what I've experienced here. I had no cognitive understanding of when I burnt out so bad. And I just kept playing. I was absolute garbage at this game after everything I'd been through, and it got to the point where I was completely disassociating from my best friend and what he was trying to tell me. He was trying to look out for me when I had completely burnt out on this, and even then I was shutting him out. And this,
I might cry.
it came to that head. It came to the point where we had to jump into a different game, and he had to explain to me what he was experiencing. Because it got to the point where he didn't feel comfortable talking to me anymore.
Real
He
talk.
didn't feel comfortable
Yeah.
being around
That
me
was our
anymore.
lowest point.
That was
to
that
date
was
right
the
now.
absolute lowest
Yeah.
point we've ever had, and it got to the point where we took a break from the game and we played somewhere else, and he sat and talked to me. It was like I did not even I did not feel comfortable talking to you anymore. It was like, and you were like one step, like you could have asked me to shut the door, and I would have been more happy to shut the door on you because you were not my friend anymore. and it was just completely eye-opening. Like I'd had some
Yeah.
anxiety and stuff about where I was at in my
Oh my
life at that
God.
point.
That's right. I
Yeah.
did say that.
Yeah, dude, you were like,
Oh my
you're like, I'm
God,
not going
yeah.
anywhere, but if you asked me to leave, I'd be more than happy to shut the door because you are not my friend anymore.
Mhm.
And it's like, and that was what really kicked me in the pants. I
Yeah,
was like, what happened? I was like, when did it get to this point? What happened? And then I was trying to,
pulled up the facts.
yeah, and it was funny because I could talk
pulled
to
up the
him.
receipts.
Yeah, because all I had to do was ask him when a certain season in this game happened, what month of the year that happened, and then I had to figure out what happened to me in my life in that month.
Yeah.
It turns out I had a bunch of
Yeah.
life stuff after I had moved to a different state. I had a whole ton of just nitpicky shit about changing careers, and I didn't get to look for a house as soon as I wanted, so I had to be at my new job for like a year, and I was living with a stuck-up relative at that point who was just real picky about landlord stupid shit, and she's not a landlord, so it was like
That's conflicting.
me and my wife were very stressed at that time, and one event happened during a day, and my anxiety spiked so hard. And
Yeah.
I had disassociated so much at that point, I didn't even realize it. And then when he sat down and talked to me, it was like, this is what I'm seeing. This is how I'm seeing you. And I want you to just be better. It's like, and I just want to know what's going on. It's like, if you want to cut me out at some point, go for it. It's like, but I'm not going anywhere. And that was enough for me to just sit and think about what happened, and I was like, holy fuck. And I have not played this game since.
Yeah, bro.
I walked away
That's so
from
true,
this.
bro. That's right.
I walked away from this, and I have not
completely
played
forgot
that
I almost
since.
told you off there too. Yes.
Yeah.
That's
No,
right.
I walked away. I walked away from this game because, and I was talking to my wife about this a little bit earlier, but it's that, if any of you have seen that clip where Johnny Depp is on the stand, and they're like, have you done any opioids since you stopped?
Since you
And the look on his face is just, he's like, no, I can't. He's like, because
Dude,
once
that is such a hard
he's
watch,
he's
bro.
like, it really is, and he's just like, because once you've been bitten, you will be bitten again. Like, so I can't even go. I can't even. I can't even tempt that water, and it's like, and I feel that way. When I have sat back, I haven't been in this game. I have not ran around. I haven't done anything like that since this moment, since tonight.
I checked this man. I want you guys to know this.
Yes, he checks on my PlayStation status, but I have not. I have not been in this game since tonight, and every time since I quit, every time I've thought about memories of playing in those later times, it has actually made my stomach do a quick twist, and it's like, nope. It's like, I can't. It's like, I can't jump back into that. Yeah, and I don't like that.
That's right.
And
no.
You know, this game, I have put so much time and energy, psychological, emotional, physical energy into this game.
Fuck
and
yeah, we did.
and yes, we did. And it's all over our YouTube. I highly recommend all of you go watch all of our all the ones that are labeled Mario Brothers. They're amazing. And they end World's Finest. Yep, that too. We've got some crazy ones as Monsters of the Outlands. Oh my goodness. We had like 3 or 4 different duo teams that we ran in this game, and it was such a good time. But I don't have a regret at all walking away from this, because that was the first time I'd ever actually experienced it in myself, and this is showing what the effects of a video game can do to you. If it turns into a vice to cover up your anxiety, it'll make something spike at some point, and you'll hurt someone in the game, or you'll hurt someone in your real life. And you are in my real life, mind you, but you're playing with me in the game, and I'm either going to hurt you or I'm going to hurt someone in real life, and that's all from anxiety that you haven't handled yet, but this game is masking for you. And that's any game. It's not just Apex Legends, but Apex Legends was masking mine. And that is what I'm just here to talk about that. It's like that's the end point. That is why we're here, to talk about why we came into this game and the great things that we experienced here, the best friend I got out of this, and we had friends as well, but we had to cut those people out. Those people were being very toxic.
To that eventually.
Yeah, we will. But I walked away from
For
this
real.
entire experience with the
For
best
real.
friend I've ever had in my life.
Amen.
And I'm
For real,
30
me too,
years
man. I
old.
love you.
I am 30
Shit,
years
I'm like,
old. And I have the best friend that I have ever had in my entire life right here in this lobby with me. And we are talking about our experience in this game. And it's because of this game. That doesn't make the game great.
Real.
We're going to loop around to that.
hell yeah.
But we are here
Dude,
because
you made me cry. Fuck
we
you,
are
man.
but we are
Real
best
talk, bro,
we are
that's real.
best friends because we
Man.
met here.
Bro, fuck best friends. We're family. What do you mean?
Oh, yeah, we'll
Like,
go there. We'll go there.
Oh man, this guy. Look, I tell him every other time, like every other month or every other day, that he's like my older brother, man. Like he's like straight up, your family, bro. Like I had this conversation, real talk, real. This is all real. This really happened.
Yeah, I
I
know.
went up to my lady. I went up to my girl, and I was like, look, if Justin isn't my best man at our wedding, we're not having a wedding.
It's not happening.
And then she's like, okay, fine, but like, I need my, like, she jokingly referred to her best friend as my Justin, quote unquote. And I'm like, you're Justin? Oh, you mean Jessica? It's like, yeah, I want her to be my best man. And I'm like, they can share that role. And then, like,
Don't share it.
my girl was like, hell yeah! I was like, yeah! And then we got really hyped, and it was really awesome, and then we made out. But like, my point is, it was really cute, man. So
Yeah.
Like, so eventually that will come to be once we get a thing set up. But like, my point is, he's totally right. Like, we did really go through a lot. Personally speaking for myself, we'll get to it eventually. But like, there was like a point where I went really hardcore. Justin knows this firsthand because he was there.
Yeah.
I went so hardcore that I went through a couple meltdowns. For real, that really happened. It cost me a significant portion of my own physical and mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anyway. Like you already went off, but
Yeah.
everything you said was what I wanted to say, so we're good. Did you wanna cover questions of our mid-year, our mid-careers? Like, I'm thinking, when I say mid-careers, I'm thinking like 3 to like Mario Brothers in season 5.
Yeah, we can kick off. We'll let people know what the teams that we made. And leading.
Oh yeah.
And this is
do
really.
that. You do that.
I could do this. At some point, that was in season 5. We'd established our
Hell yeah.
we'd established
This is my
our
favorite
team.
season.
We'd established our team really
Woo.
solid early on. Like we had
Yeah.
Team Retro. We had a trio going on. We had a couple people who would swap in as our third every once in a while. And we had a good time and stuff like that. But we had a fallout shortly around that time, around season 5. And
Yeah,
it
like
was
tail end of 4, early
5, yeah. So
like
it was
opening 2 months roughly.
Yeah. So
Give or
it was
take.
getting kind of rocky there, and then we ultimately had
Yep.
to cut some people out because it was a very unhealthy dynamic we had going on.
If I could just interject really quickly.
Go for it.
The reason why we had to leave, I'll speak for myself, because I don't think Justin, or I don't think you would ever like speak up on it, but I will.
Okay.
'Cause my filter is gone right now.
Go for it.
Real talk. The reason why I had to I'm speaking for myself, walked away, was because not only did they bash both of our respective playstyles, but they had the absolute nerve to insult the Agent Retro, my best friend. They insulted Justin to his face with me in the room. I'll never forget it. It was so rude. I won't, because I know it's a trigger for you, so I won't say what they said. But I got so pissed that I had to walk away because I knew that if I spoke, everything would die.
Ragnarok
the
would
world
happen.
Would explode.
Ragnarok would happen.
For real. I know my temper, bro. I know myself better than anyone when I get angry.
Yeah.
And I was furious, dude. I was like, I'm out. I walked away. I didn't even tell anybody what was happening, and then I called this guy over. I was like, look, if you let them ever insult you like that again with me in the room, I'm throttling you and then defending you.
I'm gonna beat your ass and then beat you with your ass.
Real talk, dude. That's what I told this man. I said, I'm gonna
Oh.
throttle you, but then I'm gonna defend you in front of these people. I will do it. And you're just like, okay.
He's gonna be the guy who's got me by the ear bent half over and is pointing at them. You dare insult this man?
This man right
I'm
here.
like, bro, this
Because, like,
hurts.
it goes back to that first memory when we first met. This man gave me a chance. What more could a man like myself want? A geeky doofus who loves comics, who loves video games, and loves going to the theater every single day at
Yeah.
the time. Because COVID hadn't happened yet, but
Yeah.
like at the time, right? And then they had the nerve to insult you, bro. I'll never forget that shit. That's something I can't forgive.
Yeah.
Unhealthy as that is to say, it's real. Anyway,
Yeah.
go ahead. Sorry,
No,
I had
that's
to say it.
no, that's true.
I had to get that off my chest.
Yeah, no, that to sum that up, very toxic dynamic we had going on. But
Toxic is being polite.
Sorry,
I'm done.
It's alright.
Apologies,
No, you're
apologies,
good.
apologies.
You're good.
It's just real talk.
It really is.
Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, real talk, real
I'm
feelings.
sorry.
But no, around the beginning of season 5, me and him started playing together. And it was just like, okay,
Hell
so
yeah.
we felt a lot better, just kind of, for lack of a better way of putting it, cutting the weight. Cutting the fat.
Yeah. Trimming the fat. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
trimming the
love
fat,
that.
that's
We'll
the
do
term.
that. Yeah.
But yeah, so we started playing together, and we started just kind of working with our dynamic and our play styles and stuff, and seeing what worked. And in season, when
The biggest smile on my face.
could you just date for me real quick when you picked up crypto? Was that mid season 3?
Mid-season, tail end of season 3. Like, give me. I'll give you a time frame. Like the last 2.5 months.
Ah, gotcha. Okay, so it was like the
Yeah,
last half
like,
of season 3.
Like King's Canyon After Dark.
Mm.
Like the
Okay,
like the first one. Like the first one.
first Halloween. Yeah,
King's
that was
Canyon, yeah.
yeah. So
That was it.
Yeah, probably tail end of season 3, close
Yeah.
to it, if not.
About 2 weeks prior to that one.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
this
prior to
guy
that, yeah.
this guy had pretty much mastered his Bangalore pretty quick.
You're
But
being
yeah,
too nice to me.
but no, he picked up crypto around that time and was starting to get really good
I'm a
with
Gemini,
him.
Rose. There you go.
He's
Sorry,
a
Rose was
Gemini.
talking.
He's a Gemini. I'm a Scorpio, just for the record.
We should
Another.
hate each other.
We really,
Theoretically, but hey.
according to the horoscope of the stars and the universe and the planets and all that good stuff, we should genuinely despise the existence of each other. But we don't. We defy the odds in every sense of the term. But no, like this guy picked up crypto. I was still a hardcore Mirage main, still learning and still getting better. But yeah, season 5 rolled around, and it was like a meme. I don't know if you made it or if someone posted it and then you remade it so that you could show me because you couldn't find it.
That's what happened.
Got
Yeah,
it.
Someone posted it. It got lost in the feed. I loved it so much. I remade it and sent it to you. Yeah.
Yeah, so it was a picture of the skins that came with Crypto and Mirage for the was it the collection event for that season 5?
Battle Pass and collection event.
Yeah, because I think Mirage's was in the Battle Pass and then Crypto's was in the collection event. Okay.
That's right.
But yeah, no, in both of those skins, that whole theme for that season was like conquistador,
Lost
treasures
Tomb
kind of
Raiding,
stuff. Yeah. So they were
Indiana
very
Jones type shit, yeah.
steampunky, sophisticated treasure hunter kind of look.
Yep.
So Mirage was rocking like a full beard with like a nice curly, nice manicured mustache. And Crypto was rocking just this little like chin thing and this really pampered mustache look. And those skins both had their own colors naturally coordinating. You had Mirage with some red and some gold in there, and then you had Crypto's, which was a nice kind of it had like a cream color mane coat to it, and then it had some gold, silver, and mainly green accents to it. So with those pictures of those characters, they were side by side with Mario and Luigi, and it was just like, I don't see a difference here. That was like the meme. And it was like, same picture.
Yeah,
Same picture. It's
basically,
like, I
yeah.
don't see a difference.
Same picture,
Yeah.
yeah, real talk.
So that's where that came from. November. Yeah, I just make the Scorpio mark. But yeah, no, with that on our minds, we were playing one night and we were just talking about that. And this guy's a big nut for fan
really
fiction.
had it up.
So this guy was
Yes,
loving.
I was gonna say.
He was loving that fan fiction. So he really was talking a backstory for these characters, and I was just eating it up because I love Mario and Luigi, and I loved all these characters being relatable, and it was super fun. And so we were eating it up, and we had a crazy match. If you guys go watch that, it's our Super Mario Brothers Apex Edition. It's the first one, so you'll go all the way to the beginning. And that's our first one. It's still mind blowing to this day. Like there's like 4 or 5 different times in that video. Oh my god, dude! It's
we should have died.
It's mind blowing. And it's one of the instances where it's an exception because we actually did have our teammate at the end. Because most of our Mario Brothers after that were just you and me. But at the end of that, we did have our third at the end of that. But that was our first one and kicked it off.
Rules, if I remember.
Yeah, after that one we did.
Yeah, we set up rules. They could only be a Mario Brothers if it's a duo.
Yeah,
if it's
a duo and a trios match, then that was the Mario Brothers.
We didn't even have to win. It would just have to be like us kind of getting far enough and really doing something intense.
And just feeling satisfied with what we did.
Ourselves.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
If we pulled off some crazy shit, but we ended up like getting third or second, it was still worth it at the end of the day. And we've even won Mario Brothers that we didn't post because they were so lame. I remember players getting stuck under the map, and it was like, oh, well this is stupid.
That's right. Warp Zone or Warp World. Yeah, that's right.
Yep, yeah. That was dumb.
That was a good one. As funny as it was actually pretty dumb. Yeah, for real.
But no, like that's our thing. And in that first Mario Brothers, it's just I really can't explain it. Like it's really. It just blows my mind at the end of it. Like, there's a point at the end where you can hear it in our voice. Like, we have resigned ourselves to the fact we are going to die. And our third, she's a Bangalore, just comes out of nowhere and just picks us up. And we end up making a play at the end of that. It was amazing.
Yes. Oh, my God. That's
He's
so
Crypto,
true.
I'm Mirage. So I would be Mario, he would be Luigi.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So
I'm okay with being player 2, bro.
Well, it was a very interesting change for me because I'm not used to being Mario. Fun fact, I'm gonna throw you guys back to when I was 17. Me and my brother were actually dating sisters from a church town over, and we actually got them T-shirts because they were goofing around with Mario and Luigi at some point, and it was like, oh, we've got Mario and Peach because my brother was dating a blonde, and then I was dating a brunette. So I was obviously Peach and Daisy, so that works out that way. I didn't like being Luigi because I already felt second shoe to my brother, but I digress. He was Mario in that instance, and I was Luigi, so it's funny that this flips that on the coin in this scenario, 13 years later. So yeah, so that was funny. But no, like so yeah, that match is amazing, and that kicked off our whole duos thing. And that was our very first team, our Mario Brothers. If you see anything labeled Mario Brothers on our YouTube channels, those are definitely a really good watch. Nah, that's all good.
So good.
But yeah, no. After that, we had a handful of Mario Brothers before our World's Finest kicked in. When our World's Finest was
World's Finest took place around season 6.
The next season, yeah.
Yeah, give or take, like tail end of 5, early 6, around that time. I really love that eventually did happen.
Yeah, I'll let you take that one if you want to talk about World's Finest. That'd be cool.
Oh, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no, go for it.
World's Finest really holds a special place in my heart because there was a time where Agent Retro here, I was having a rough go with Mirage.
It's very dry
just
spell.
Wasn't feeling it. And abilities weren't popping off at the time. His ultimate wasn't going good, and You know, at the time, Mirage's ultimate was a little rough, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
feeling, just to interject, I remember
oh,
feeling
absolutely.
I was already in a slump with him. Like I wasn't popping off. I wasn't feeling very good with the abilities at that time. I was having a low point with him, and actually, now that I think about it, this would be a point where the tier list actually affected me. Tier lists are
Oh, that's
stupid,
right.
by the way. You need to stop talking about Apex tier lists. Everybody plays the legends differently. These legends are
Yep.
subjective. Shut your face. Anyway,
Yeah, for real.
at this point,
No, no, it's true.
I was having a point where the tier list was affecting me because I had thought about it in a way of effectiveness in helping my team. And
Oh
I was like,
no.
oh
Oh
wait. I
no.
was like, is there a way
Really?
that I could actually help my team
Oh no.
more with the abilities of someone else? And that was a moment where we were
Thanks for
talking
stopping
about
by,
that.
guys.
Yay! Thanks for swinging by. Um,
Thank you.
but yeah, at that point I was like, could I be doing better with someone else? And I think
Oh my god.
this was probably doing better for the team with someone else. And I was just like, okay. So I remember, was this the first time I brought up Bloodhound at like 3 in the morning?
Yeah.
it
2 in the morning.
yeah. I was
Yes.
working night
Yeah.
shift at that time, and I remember just bringing this. I texted him this question about whether I should pick up Bloodhound or not, and I didn't expect him to get it as soon as he did, because he got it as soon as I sent it, and I was just like, okay, I'll send it now, and he'll see it in the morning. He texted me while I was awake at work. And he woke up from a dead sleep and was like, "Oh hell
When
no!
he
I need
says
to talk
dead
to
sleep,
him."
bro, I read that freaking message. I zombified and came to life, bro.
He's
I
like,
was
I've got a
no,
fucking
no,
book
no.
for you, dude.
Give me 20
Oh,
seconds.
yeah.
I'll explain why this is a horrible idea.
You take it from there.
Okay, the funny thing is, bro, I actually still have my response to you. I have it saved in my phone, but I don't know if I'll find it in time.
Oh man,
But
that's so
the
funny.
point is, Justin comes up to me and he's like, "Hey, listen, rough patch, doesn't feel good. What if I picked up Bloodhound?" And I remember just reading that, and I was like, "No."
No.
Like, not in the sense that like you couldn't do it, bad idea, fuck you. No,
Wrong
it
reason.
was like,
This is the wrong reason.
it's like, I found it.
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
god, that's hilarious.
Okay, I'm gonna read parts of it. I'm not gonna read the whole thing. Oh no, that wasn't it. Sorry.
Oh no, that's alright.
Sorry, guys.
It's
I
alright.
thought I had it.
No,
Hold on. Essentially, well, if I find it, I'll find it.
Yeah.
But if I don't, hey, whatever.
It was essentially just giving me like a reality check and just making sure I was looking at all my ducks as to why I made that decision versus making an impulse decision.
Yeah, but yeah, essentially, yeah. I wanted him to know that going from Mirage to Bloodhound would be probably one of the biggest reality checks that he would have on his own, just picking those characters.
For me,
right?
it was
Going
going to be a
from one to the other.
completely, from my playstyle at the time, it was a completely different playstyle just to make the abilities work for me and the team. It would have been a
Yeah, no,
completely different playstyle for me. And I didn't really take that into account at the time, and he definitely let me know that.
No, I remember just ripping into you. I was like, dude, like you can't just go from one playstyle to a completely different
First of
thing.
all, you woke me the fuck up. You're going to get it. super honest here.
No, and it was just like you're going from at the time you were kind of riding the middle and the rear of the team, and picking Bloodhound, at least at that time, you know, for like the meta and whatever, you would either have to lead us in and or be in the middle for pushing squads and whatever. So I was like, he doesn't really do either one of those things right now, and I would, like I told you, I was super honest, and I was like, look, I would rather you find out what's wrong with you and Mirage, and like, you know, get couples counseling and really fix that shit
Yeah.
before you venture forward with a high skill cap character
Yeah.
that you haven't even touched yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, look, you really have to stop and consider the fact that when you play as Bloodhound with anyone besides me, you're gonna have to meet a certain expectation,
Yeah.
right? And I myself have high expectations for someone who plays Bloodhound,
Mhm.
but I played with you, so I understand where you
Yeah.
are at, your current level and everything.
Mhm.
So I told him, I was like, look, I have my expectations, but I'm willing to taper myself down a little bit to sort of work with you.
Mhm.
But anyone else you play with will destroy you.
Yeah.
So stop, look, and listen at what's wrong with what you have right now and work on it.
Mhm.
That's all I said to this man. From there, just to sort of add a little note, just so we're all on the same page, I had some family stuff go down. I won't talk about it here, but it was really intense, and I had to walk away from the game. I had to walk away from everybody who I was friends with at the time while playing Apex. That includes Justin, H and Retro, and some other people that we were playing with at the time. And I didn't come back for a while. Like, I
Yeah.
didn't come back until um, this particular moment in time happened in season 3, tail end. This conversation I'm having with him at 2 in the morning, and I didn't come back technically until the collection event in season 4. So anyway, go ahead. Yes, what's me?
Uh, actually, it's you. You were talking about World's Finest.
Oh shoot, is it me? Oh
Yeah.
shoot, my bad.
Oh no,
Yeah.
you're
So
good.
anyway, sorry. So no, he's definitely right.
That's my
That
origins.
whole
That's my
thing
origins
happened.
to picking up Bloodhound. Like I wanted to at some point, but
Exactly.
I was
That's
not ready to pick up Bloodhound.
and I was just being deadly honest, like, cause like I made him a promise very early on. Like, we didn't mention this in the beginning era of our Apex careers, but I made him a promise because of how honest he was with me and being really accepting of what I do here, and who I was. I told him, I made him a promise that I would never, ever bullshit him.
Yeah.
Ever. I would never make an excuse for anything. And if I did, and I discovered within myself that I would come clean.
Yeah.
So that's where that honesty comes from with Bloodhound, and that conversation we had at 2 in the morning. But going back into season 6 and really going into developing that team, he wanted to go Bloodhound, and I was like, you have my blessing, because you're basically ready at this point. Because at the time, his Mirage was flawless, guys. Like, this was a guy running away from a fight at the beginning of his career as Mirage.
I have a
To not
video.
only...
I have a video.
That's true. That's so true, bro.
I have a video
Anyway.
that's I tried to reach a milestone with each of the characters I did here, and if I reach a match where I'm playing by myself and I feel 100% like I am in it, I'm doing everything I know to the best of my ability, and I come out on top and it's amazing, and I feel like I knew what I was doing, and I was. That's my
Real.
peak. Like, I have my I Am Mario video, I have my I Am Superman
That's his
video,
Mirage, bro.
I
Yes.
have...
You have your I Am Superman.
I have my I Am Superman.
You have a Fusey one, too, but I don't think we named it. I don't remember.
I don't remember that one.
The Fusey is your sniper one on the tower, Grow Towers in Olympus. That one.
Is
Where you
it
were
that
just
one?
Like, yeah, dude, are you kidding me?
Ooh.
Dude
I'm trying to
knocks down
think.
2 teams in that video. I'm
Oh,
leaving it
dude.
at that. Go watch that shit, bro. That shit's awesome.
Do I really? Damn. I haven't seen that one
You
in a
knocked
while.
2 team.
I'm
It's
remembering
been
my
a while,
caustic one.
man.
I did get my caustic one.
Did you
That was with
with
Cat on
Cat.
Storm
With
Point.
Cat,
Yeah.
last season. Yes.
Yep. That was with Cat on
That
Storm
was fire.
Point. That one was amazing. But
Real
yeah.
talk, he saved my ass. And that doesn't happen very often. But
No,
when
it doesn't.
feels
He's
good.
over here saving my
It
ass.
feels
I am the
good.
one getting picked up off the ground 90% of the time.
But it feels good to
It does.
have that moment.
Yeah.
When I look up at him and he's lifting me up, I'm like, yes.
What are
This is
you?
how it's going.
What are you
This is
doing?
how
Putting
it's
your
going
ass on
right
the
now.
ground. Let's go.
I love it so much every time, bro. Without there's no doubt in my mind that that's where we're supposed to be at. But for real, dude, like it's honest to God the greatest thing. If you want the highlight of his Mirage career, I highly recommend I Am Mario. There's a couple other ones that have like since then outdone that one, in my personal opinion.
Really?
Homecoming, Super Mario Homecoming is a really good Mirage video for him. Both of our perspectives are just amazing because when you see it from my perspective, you really see how heroic he is and how much of a team leader he's become since like day one till like that particular moment.
Oh.
There is one other one whose name presently escapes me, but nuts. We are in Kings Canyon. We are in. We called it the pit. That weird, that little thing outside of Bunker. I think it's actually called the pit. Anyway, we land in there. No, the game ends in there, and I fall behind. I get knocked. I get so sad because like I was really trying to help out the team. I get knocked.
No.
This dude squad wipes and wins us the game, and I'm just like, this man really just did that.
Bro, if you find that, you need to you need to show me that.
I'm linking everything that I'm talking about, guys. Will be linked in the description. I promise you. I will have this list ready, and it will be
Yes.
sent. But again, that one I'm talking about is really good because not only does it really show how his movement has really come through and developed into something completely different. I start calling him the Illusionist Supreme because of how amazing his dupes are and how often he saved my ass moving forward from season 7 onward with his dupes. He saved me with just his dupes, and I freaking loved it.
We have a video where my dupes actually unintentionally save him.
Yes, I believe that is.
That's Blue Boys.
No,
Isn't that
Blue
Blue
Boys.
Boys? Yep.
That's the one.
Yep, that's Team Duality Blue Boys.
Saves me by putting out his Mirage dupes, his clones, and they all took the damage for me as I'm lining up the last shot of the game. The only reason why we win is because he saved my ass by taking damage with his dupes. Guys, it's flawless. It's fucking amazing.
It's amazing.
This guy's a legend. Done. I'm done. I'm just saying it's done. But like, for real, guys.
That's my Mirage.
Amazing. That's his Mirage, man. That's just his Mirage.
Yeah.
I highly recommend watching I Am Superman on his channel, on his YouTube channel. It's different on mine in terms of titling. But I Am Superman on his YouTube channel, it's amazing. That's his best, by far one of his most amazing Bloodhound videos.
My God.
If not his greatest, because it really shows how like his adaptability has come through since day one till that present moment and going forward. It's amazing.
That one is a favorite.
Spoiler alert, it's all Mozambique. It's amazing.
Yeah, but it's all Mozambique.
It's literally all Mozambique shots, bro.
I went through a phase that I wish would have stuck, but they took the hammer points away, so it did not stick. But,
that's true. And
oh my
really
God,
nerfed
it was
like
it was such a fun phase. I had so much fun. Hammer point Mozam. Oh
Hammer
man.
point Mozam. If I can like bolster the legend that is your Bloodhound, I've only ever seen one other person truly utilize the Mozambique to its fullest, and that was Alex.
Yep.
Alex was the. I have actually, yes, Angel. I have seen the new Spitfire. I'm actually kind of impressed with it. Yeah, I have seen it, love it. It was my main weapon for like forever, until present.
This psycho ran 2 if he could.
I ran 2. I believe you described me as a semi-truck with a chain gun mounted on the front. Yeah, it was great.
Yep. This guy would
it's
run
all
into
in the
rooms
YouTube,
and
guys.
just melt
All
people.
there.
It was insane.
Oh man, I was a monster.
With
I
a
was terrible
crypto!
person.
I could be a crypto running dual Spitfires.
I was a terrible person. Everybody hated me. I got hate messages, no joke. But no, for real, guys. World's Finest is super special to me because of that 2 o'clock in the morning. That 2 o'clock in the morning reality check that I gave him, and then to see that bolster into such an incredible like secondary for you. Like not even like 3 or 4 seasons later, in season 6. Oh man, it's just so beautiful to me because it was like it was meant to be in a lot of ways, a match made in heaven, if you will. And with him taking his experiences as a Mirage main into a Bloodhound and becoming this incredibly pushy and almost violent Bloodhound, and having them paired up with my Bloodhound, my Bangalore, sorry, it really became a really intense and kind of a dirty fighting style for us to run.
First time, the
Blinding
first
our-
one, the first match that we actually pulled that off.
Yeah.
Oh my
dude,
God,
that was
we
sick.
had scared a team. The last team, we had scared
That's right.
shitless. We pushed them back into the storm because he was
Two of
smoking. He was smoking,
Yeah.
and I was scanning. And they couldn't see us, but we could see them, and we had scared them back into the storm from the only path that they had into the
Do you
circle.
Do you remember the Octane?
The
who got
Octane.
so scared and willingly took his own
he
bounce pad
took
into
his
the
yep
storm?
yep he
I
took
love
his
it.
own bounce pad out into the storm. It was so funny.
It was amazing. Oh man, guys, you really need to watch some of these videos. They
They're-
will all be linked in the description afterwards.
It's
But
amazing.
for real. Yeah, we had this beautiful team, and it was the synergy was real. It was coming from a fully loaded experience as a Bangalore main to one that was like halfway there as a Mirage going into a Bloodhound, and then both of those characters combining into one beautiful freaking synergy as a Mirage and Bloodhound, and then just it was like lightning in a bottle. Could not have been more perfect. And I love World's Finest because every time you watch one of them, you can see how, especially in season 8, bro, like the pinch.
Oh man.
Whoo! Forget it, man.
Yep.
This guy was like, I was running into this one team, bro, and then I remember I was about to say scan, and then before I could even scan, like breathe in that word, he already scanned, fuck. And I was like, I love this man. Dude, and we wiped teams, man. We were that was probably our most organized team.
Yep.
I loved World's Finest because of how clean cut. It was like a scalpel, guys. Like,
Yep.
it was just super clean. There was nothing that could go wrong. And if it did go wrong, we adapted. And that's because of him. If you could scan the enemies, forget about it. We were already ahead of the game
Oh,
at that
dude.
point.
And the funny thing is that was me actually capitalizing on something because once I got to know him, and the more I got to know him, I figured out how he looked at the game, which is about
That's right.
70.
You gotta tell them
It was
that.
70 to 85% more of the game that he was seeing every time he dropped in than I was. So naturally, when we started out, I was following his lead because clearly he was seeing stuff I wasn't seeing. So I was like, okay, so I'll kind of follow his lead and give him backup where I can. Once we got to playing together and we started adapting, I got to know
Yeah.
him better, and he shared with me more about what he sees in the game.
Because I remember that conversation too. Yeah.
And there was a
Oh,
point.
sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. No, it's
Yeah.
fine. Now, there's a point where we were still playing with someone from our toxic time, and it was after I had gotten to know him a little bit, and we had reached a point where it was getting down to like the last 3 teams. And we were in a
Yeah.
really quiet spot, and we were
Oh.
coming up the hill from the city into
World's
train.
Edge.
Yep, into train yard. And we had just pulled up to that peak, and we stopped. And I'm one who kind of scans around looking for movement anyway, but I hadn't seen or heard anything. And he does this thing where when it gets quiet, he starts running numbers in his head. And he gets really quiet, and he starts calculating, and he's thinking about everything that happened prior to the game because he sees where people drops, he sees where the circle's been going in, and he knows where people are rotating. I don't see any of that. So when I'm in here, and once I got to know him, I knew that whenever he got really quiet, he needs quiet. So I'm just like, I'm going to stop running my mouth. I'll say what I see, but I don't see anything. But it's like he's calculating. And our teammate was just like, let's just run over this way. Like, why do we go this way? And I'm just like, shh. It's like, he's calculating. And she's like, we've done this circle a million times. It's rotated like this a million times. What's the... I was like, shh. He's calculating. And about 3 seconds after that, he comes up with something, and he says, an idea that he has. And it's just like, all right, let's run with it. He's got an idea. And I was just like, so let's go. And it's like, because he's clearly seeing something that I don't, and I understand his brain is working differently than mine because he is seeing more. So I'm just like, okay, let's see where he's going. It's like, and we'll go. And he had formulated a plan throughout that whole thing, but in that last fight, our teammate did nothing. Essentially, she fought with you for a little bit, but at the end of that, which he tells me this at the end of this match, which is it's a little weird. I'm still a little salty about it. But he basically throws me. He he does.
Apologize.
He like he throws. He basically throws me under the bus.
Right?
He throws me under the bus so he can pick me up, so he can get down, so I can get the game-winning kill because that's how he sees that going. Because he has like this Doctor Strange thing, like the way he has seen that match go. Like the only reason he saw, the only way the only reason he saw that we were gonna win that match was if I got the kill, because he knows me that well.
All right, y'all. I gotta step up and say something, right? Okay, look.
Defend yourself.
It's real.
What do you have to say for yourself?
I'm actually wiping away tears, bro, because like that fucking messed me up just now.
Dude.
Because like y'all, if get yourself a friend like Agent Retro, bro. Like this man pays attention to you, bro. Fuck. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I don't mean to get emotional, but like that shit's real.
You don't get a friend like me without a friend like me going through years of not getting a friend like me. So
I mean, that's for real. That's true, man. Like, nah, look, he's right. I have something up here in my noodle that ain't right, right? So
I wouldn't say that.
I see things differently. Like it's hard to explain, but I explained it to him. I'm gonna explain it to you guys the same way I did it to him.
I'm gonna interrupt you.
Oh, yeah.
There's nothing wrong with your brain. Your brain is
Fair
different.
enough.
Nothing up in your brain that is messed up. Your brain is different than someone else's brain. Not everyone's brain. Your brain is different than someone else's brain. Every single person's brain is different from someone else's brain. It does not make it a bad brain. It does not make it wrong. It makes it different and unique. We are accepting everyone exactly the way they are. You, good sir, have a miraculous brain. I can't even wrap my brain. I could stretch my brain on a taffy puller, and I still would not be able to wrap it around the concept of what goes on in your brain.
That sounds painful, but I understand where you're going with this.
It's a metaphor.
No, for real. No, he's totally right. Thank you for that. I appreciate that because, real talk, it's hard sometimes to describe it. But
yeah,
like I said, I'll describe it to you guys the same way I described it to him. Picture a TV. It doesn't matter what type of TV it is. Picture a TV. Now picture your favorite movie. For this particular explanation that I gave him, I picked a movie that we both understood and both knew front to back, no issues. I picked Back to the Future. Now,
yes.
I told him
flawless
to
classic.
Picture the beginning of the film with Marty going through the garage, plugging in the guitar, and that part. And then I told him to picture overlapping that scene, the scene of him having already gone back to the future, having gone back to the past, going back to the past, and fallen out of the tree and getting hit by his mother's car. And that's overlapping the beginning introductory scene, and it's like cloudy, it's foggy, it's like all that shit. And then on top of both of those scenes, I told him to picture the moment where the bully character is harassing Marty's mom, for the lack of a better term. And the fathered character comes in, saves the day. I told him that I see every single match of Apex Legends just like that. I see the beginning, middle, and end. The problem is, I can't see the solution to getting us a victory without information. Now, what does that mean? Well, I'll tell you. When it comes to information, my brain runs through it like butter, like a hot knife through butter. I consume a lot of information, details, even the most minuscule, tiniest detail ever. I'll catch it. When we are dropping out of the dropship, I look at everyone's dive trails and where they land. Why? I couldn't tell you. My brain just does it. It happens. I don't know why. It happens.
Yeah.
But I can tell you why they're landing there. because I've landed there too, and I know where all the sweet stuff is. Blue armor, purple armor, gold armor, whatever. The rotations of these armors are different every season, but they're not all that unique. Point being, knowing where they are every season kind of helps me out because
Yeah.
then I know why you're there.
Yeah.
Anyway, depending on where we land, I can tell him, when I say him, I mean Justin, Agent Retro.
Yes.
I can tell him exactly how many teams are going to surround us at a given moment. My particular favorite moment of him knowing this information, we land in map room, and he specifically asks me to do the thing, quote unquote, do the thing. And that why what he means by that is to look at my map, pull up the map, look at it, look at where we are, and then predict where every other team is. And when I told him that, he hit the scan button in map room to scan the entire map, and I got an 88.9% accuracy as to where everyone was on the map.
Yep.
Just because I was able to tell where everyone landed by their dive trails. I don't know how, I just do it.
It's a very intense, accurate information retention.
Yeah.
Like you
There was,
retain
like, what was
information
that thing
very
that
well.
happened in season 4 where you're like, you need a grenade, and I was like, I'll be right back, and I disappeared, and I came back with a thermite and I threw it, and we kind of clutched it a little bit, and then when you went back to look at my footage, there was like a very brief and very blurry image of me passing by an open crate loot box thing where a thermite was in, and you told me that you had to pause in order to see what the blur was, and you saw that it was a thermite, and then when you told me to go get a grenade, I go back to the exact same box and pick up the exact same thermite.
Yeah.
Why? Because I remembered it was there
Yeah.
5 minutes after the fact.
Yeah.
Point being, I see a lot, and I retain a lot.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but I just
Yeah.
kind of do it.
It's just how your brain works.
So, back to this particular moment in time that he's talking about, where our teammate kind of gave him some sass and gave me some sass, because, oh, we've done this ring 100 times, what's the difference? Well, I, for a fact, knew that there was a team behind us. As to where they were, I couldn't tell them because she was a kind of a chatterbox.
A little bit.
She liked to talk. And thusly, I couldn't hear a lot of the noise that they were making. We get up the hill, and at that point, I kept telling him, at the moment that we got into the city, to the point where we got up to that hill, I was like, there's a team behind us. I can't see them, but I know that they're there. He goes silent to allow me a moment's peace so I could actually talk myself through it. And he hears me doing the math as to where everyone should be, technically, theoretically, including the team that was in the city. And then he shushes her, as he says, which is true. I can confirm it. I will link that.
There's a video there too. Yep.
And he shushes her. This pisses her off beyond belief.
We know that for a fact too.
We know for that for a fact, yeah. And she gets mad. She goes silent for almost the majority of the of that match. Like the rest of that match, she's basically silent. And I see, I was like, okay, I remember speaking up and being like, there's a team in train yard, definitely in the high cars that like used to hang up there.
Yeah.
And there's going to be another team behind that rock, and I pinged it. And the other team is either still behind us walking in, or they're already here and we're fucked.
Yeah.
And then I turned around, I shit you not, within 10 seconds of me having finished that description of what was going to happen, that team that was behind us walked right in.
Yeah.
And I pinged it. I was like, they're here! Teammate turns around, starts shooting her gun, scares them off, they disappear, I lost information, kind of screwed us over. No big deal, because Agent Retro was on the scene. He comes in and he's like, we have to move here, right? And I was like, that's probably our best course of action. We have the most cover there, let's go. Stay out of line of sight. Do not let when I say the card team, I'm talking about the guys that are up in the rafters in those floating cars that were strung up in train yard. So I was like, stay away from the card team. Don't get in the line of sight, because if they see us, they will move on us. We hid behind cover. There was a team far end of that particular section behind a rock, and they started opening fire on the card team, and the card team opened fire on them. The team that was behind us from the city moves in, long right side, and starts engaging the rock team. And I was like, we'll pepper them, but don't give us away. If we have to move up, you tell me, I'll tell you if it's okay. And then we basically moved up like chess. Like we moved up in certain directions, but never too far, but just enough.
Yeah.
Moving on, we eventually get to a point where I decided on a factor. Agent Retro has a very intense hero complex where he needs to help his team.
You're
He
one to
wants
talk.
to help his team. Shut up! He wants to help his team and he wants to be of service. Because if he doesn't help, it'll eat him up inside.
Just a little bit.
It's a little bit, but it's enough that he'll think about it and he'll bring it up in an email later. The next day. He's like, could I have done something differently here? And I'm like, yes, you could have, but it's fine. And I reassure him. I always do. My point being, I knew if this man got knocked down and I picked him up and I got knocked down and teammate obviously guarantees us a knockdown and she gets knocked down,
Yeah.
that he will do everything, and I mean everything in his power to be of service. And I knew that because I just know him well enough to know.
Yeah.
So what did I do? I walked away from the fight. I guaranteed our teammate to go down. I walked in as Agent Retro goes down, picked him up, ran away from the fight, got picked off intentionally. He gets up, he knocks down the first guy, then the last guy, and gets us the game-winning kill. Why? Because I knew him well enough to know that even though he had a Tic Tac's worth of health left and a fully loaded magazine in his gun, that he would fight tooth and nail like that devil was chasing him. And that he would overcome that devil. And guys, I guarantee you he did. I can testify that this man fought with everything that he had.
I got the
and
game-winning
he
kill
won us
with
the
an evil long shot.
It was amazing.
Like, it's crazy.
Hearing that, bah, bah,
Yeah.
so satisfying.
Yeah.
When he tells you he knows me well enough to know that I'm looking at everything, it's the truth. Because I can guarantee you that I know him well enough to know that he will never not be reliable. Like, he's amazing. He's the most reliable person I know. Even if he, like I said, if he has 0 health, he will find a way. And he usually does.
I don't know if you had a gold backpack or not. You picked me up with like nothing. And I stood up and tried to shoot somebody.
Did I throw it away? Maybe. I don't know.
You motherfucker!
I don't know. Someone go look at the footage. I don't know. I don't remember. It was like 6 or 7 seasons ago. I don't know.
Mr. Information Retention over here playing stupid.
I don't know what you're talking about. He's blowing out his ass, man. I don't know what he's talking about, man.
Anyway, I'm going to bring this back a little bit because we never actually told people what our World's Finest team was. Our World's Finest team is actually Batman and Superman.
Yeah.
That is a play on the World's Finest line.
Comic
books of Superman and Batman. He is Batman due to his incredible lethal usage of his smoke.
Hell yeah.
And I'm Batman because I'm Superman because I see all. You know.
Yeah, with his scanning ability.
My scanning, my bloodhound scanning ability.
It works.
Definitely one of the most pristine duo teams that we had. It was
highly
very, very clean, very high caliber. What did we run? Did we run monsters after that?
I believe, yes, actually that's correct. I believe.
Was that monsters? That was Bangalorian Fuse.
And Fuse, yes, that's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that was a fun one.
Yeah, that was great. I really liked that one because it was very long range for the both of us. I used to smoke to blind people. He'd hit him with the cluster bombs, stick him if he was lucky enough to get them like right next to each other. It was perfect.
Oh man, I had sticking fests, dude. I had matches where I would just I would start using those as my go-to. That was like my fight response. If someone was in front of me, I would quick stick them with my tactical.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
it would scare the shit out of
Vouch,
people.
vouch. It was awesome. It would scare
Oh man.
people like right out of formation, and
Yeah.
that's where I come
It
in,
was like
baby.
a
That's where I
beehive.
come
It was like
in.
hitting someone with a beehive. Like if you threw a beehive at
Oh, real
someone and they
talk,
caught
yes.
it, like if they were trying to
Yep,
shoot anything, they would like drop everything and like panic. It was
yep.
exactly like chucking a beehive at someone.
It
It was
was real.
so
Honestly,
fun to
that's the best way to
watch.
describe it. Real talk. No, it was super
Oh
satisfying, dude.
man.
Like I really loved Monsters because it was really you coming into your own, and sort of like establishing a point man vibe,
Yeah.
where you could actually lead, and not only lead us, but like really retain the designation of point man by like scouting with your sniper rifle or your repeater, because you had a repeater for a brief
I
period,
did have a
and you would
repeater
scout
spell.
ahead. Yeah, it was great. Again, just like his G7 spell, flawless. I
Oh,
loved the shit out of
I
that.
loved my G7
Um,
spell.
it was great, dude. It was
Yeah, no
amazing.
throwing this.
Honestly, again, personally speaking, and just like really hyping you up, your G7 spell was like fucking awesome. Like I wish I was that good.
Oh.
It's flawless, guys. Flawless. If you can find these videos, guys, you won't be disappointed.
No, anything
But
we
yeah,
had
but
time to
if
clip and post, it was
it
amazing.
was out there,
We had
it was
such a
out
good
there.
time.
Real talk, guys. If I could point out one of my favorites, the Quick and the Rad.
Yes, that was
That
fun.
is my Octane and his Fuse. One of the pushiest teams, if not the pushiest team we've ever
It
had.
was just pure chaos. That's
It was a
exactly what it
mess.
was.
If you guys watched his recent Ghost Recon Wildlands stream, there's like a point where I'm like, let's just go loud, and you're like, not again.
That's
And I'm just
exactly
like,
what it
that is exactly what Quick and the Rad was all about. It was me just fucking
I would
throwing
stop
out.
moving for 2 seconds. It's like, where should we go? He's already halfway there up the hill. He never stopped moving and he never stopped stimming.
Oh, thank you, Angel. I really appreciate you doing that. That means a lot to me. Thank you so much. No, but he's definitely right. I would stay still for like like not even a heartbeat.
He
dude.
didn't.
Like I was gone.
He didn't. If he
And
had
he
his
hated
jump
it,
pad,
but
he
I'm
was
like,
throwing it.
oh yeah, I
Oh my
never let
God.
him sit still either.
No.
When he was like, I need to catch up to you. I'm like, dude, there's like already 2 bounce pads back there. Like, go ahead, just catch up. It's all
It's like,
good.
fine.
I'll meet you there. It was so silly, guys. If you love that particular moment in his Ghost Recon, his stream that in that night, you'll love the whole Quick and the Rad vibe. It's
Oh my God.
absolute madness. He had to put a leash on me a few times. I'm okay with that because it was a reality check for real.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Yeah, no, those are super fun. We had a brief
Oh,
moment
that was
with Rampart and Gibby. That was a good time. We had a couple good ones
Oh,
there.
that's so true.
That was such a
that
that was a
that's
fortress,
interesting.
dude. That was such a
Oh, fuck
fortress
yeah, dude.
team. I
We
love
held
that.
back spot
Yep.
in
It was
that back
Olympus.
spot in Olympus.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go. We said it at
Yep.
the same time. No, it's the truth. We held that down, guys. Like you wouldn't believe,
It
man. Like
it
it was super sick.
it was one doorway out of one other doorway. If they would have went the long way, they would have been able to go up down the elevator
Oh, that's
and
right.
run up that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
But even then, like the storm had them all the other entrances locked, so we were locking down one entrance,
Love the Sims.
and
Dope. Really awesome, Angel.
it was Rampart's walls, and my Gibby dome, and it was like we had that door locked down. Like people had to get past that door in order to get inside the circle. And it was us and one other team, and that was just the fight happening while the circle was coming in. It got to a point where we eventually had to jump out and shoot someone. But
Yeah.
no, man, it was like
In order to actually win.
in
you
order to actually
have
win,
kinda
yeah,
fight.
we had to get out of it, but we
Um,
locked it down. It was crazy.
Yeah, I remember like running into the circle and just putting up walls around me, so I would have a defense in case they got to me.
Yeah.
But you had your Gibby Dome out there protecting us, and you were actually laying them out pretty well too, from what I remember.
It was a really good time.
No, for real, guys. Like it was a lot. It was like a long time ago, but I remember there was like really good moments with your Gibraltar where you just kind of like had a really strong hold on us, where you could like really protect us and be like, yo, you guys gotta stay right here. Just like hold on for a bit, and then you had these moments where like you could tell us when to go and when it was safe to move forward, and I really love it, and I like it a lot because it took away, because for some, I don't know what it is about me that I don't like being called a designated team leader. I don't like that vibe. Yes, I know what I'm doing and I can tell you where to go and all that, but when it comes to ordering people around, I feel like I'm taking away their ability to choose for themselves. So when it came to your Gibraltar and you were kind of protecting us and you're like, Dome's out here, run this way, Dome will protect us from incoming fire. And I was like, okay, yeah, definitely, fuck yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
And it felt like the shoe was on the other foot in the sense that I'm following you because you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And your Gibraltar really did feel, really made me feel like I was following you.
Yeah.
And I really do love that because it, like I said, like I've said before off camera and on record, team duality was never about having a team leaders, but like a specific person to lead us.
Yeah.
It was about being able to bring both of our abilities and our personalities to the table and really work in exchanging what that was like for each of us to make that team work. That's
Yeah.
why it was called team duality for a very long time. Until this day, that's what it's called. That's what we are called as a unit.
Yeah.
As a duo team, we are team duality for that reason. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's
So that's
yeah.
essentially all the teams we had.
Like all the official teams. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. No.
We tried to make a few work at
I
that after those, but yeah, they all kind
yeah,
of
season 6 was a rough patch. I remember that.
yeah. And we had a couple things that worked. I think we had I don't know. You ran Maggie and I ran someone else. I just couldn't remember who it
That's
was.
right. You ran a little bit of Bloodhound with my Maggie, and you ran your Fuse with my Maggie as well. That was really fun too.
Did we ever run we ran a caustic Bangalore duo at some
Yes,
point? Oh,
Jacqueline Hyde.
yes, that's Jacqueline Hyde.
As brief as it was overpowered.
It
and
was
we probably didn't play
overpowered.
them as much together because
No,
of that reason.
we
Our
cleaned house.
introduction video for that team was amazing. It's truly flawless in every way. I really love how quick it was for us to adapt to that
Oh
nature
man,
of being a defensive team
oh, it was,
with an offensive front.
yeah,
I loved it.
yeah.
I
That
loved it,
one,
man.
that one was very, very. What's the word? I don't know. Like, overpowered's a really good word for it.
Honestly, it really is in a lot of ways. Yeah.
But yeah, like those are all the teams we made throughout our long career here.
Definitely.
And kind of taught this. I don't know. We talked about these things kind of out of order, but we had a lot of the real talks in the beginning, and we've clearly had
Hey,
a
bring
really.
it back, man. Don't be afraid to do that.
Oh no,
Let's do it.
that's great. But no, like we've been through a lot of real life shit in this game. We've been through a lot of in-game shit with this game. We've met people, we've made friends, and we figured out who our friends are. And we figured out what is a right and healthy move for us as individuals when it comes to who we're going to play with. You know, who we're going to put energy and time into, and who we're going to invest the time that we have here. You know, what are we going to do here? Are we just going to play? You know, or were we going to be something more? Were we going to be something that we were going to be satisfied with at the end of the day?
What's our legacy at the end of the day?
Absolutely.
As well? That's something that we asked ourselves as well.
Yeah, we talked about that a lot. And I can walk away from this with my own. This crazy motherfucker here sent me this when I had reached my peak Mirage.
Sent me this. What the fuck are you talking about right now?
My heirloom.
No, say less. You still have that?
Dude, but what the fuck? I'm gonna put this in a glass case when I get some money for that thing. Yeah, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
This motherfucker sent me this. This is a 3D printed Mirage heirloom. The thing that he's got on the TV.
Unbelievable.
That's what this guy sent me. And it doesn't do that, obviously. It has the Switch, but it doesn't do that. But he sent this to me in the mail, and I just completely lost it. He sent me a video as to why he sent it, and it was amazing. But
Yeah.
I wasn't even at the point where I was proud of my Mirage when he sent this to me, and
Yeah.
this was amazing, and it was so it was just
It
completely
was a very
difficult for me to
emotionally harsh
compute.
night from what I remember.
It
Yeah.
really was, and I couldn't
I
even
think we
really.
both cried.
We did, we did,
I
and
think we both
and
cried,
that's
yeah.
the thing is like I wasn't even there with my Mirage until I hit that point. Like the I Am Mario, he says there's better matches I've had after my I Am Mario video, but that moment of I
For
Am
real.
Mario was the first video. That's the first moment that I had where everything that I did, when I go back and watch that video, it doesn't look like I'm playing because
That's
I
right.
was
I did tell
playing
you that.
that. I was playing that. But
Like
even I go
halfway, not
back and
even
watch it.
halfway
It doesn't
through.
look like me. I look like a pro
Yeah.
PC player running around that match.
Halfway through that, not even halfway through that video, I forgot I was watching you. I was like, who is this guy? And then I had to
Yeah.
scroll down. I was like, shit, that's, oh my god.
Yeah. No, there's a point where I'm on the second floor of a building and the one of the last teams
Yeah, 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 yeah,
pushes
yeah,
the
yeah.
building I'm in and my teammates are completely useless at this point. I have completely
They were very
disregarded
cowardly.
my teammates at that point. So, I was on the second floor of this building and as soon as this team knocks the doors in, I sprint and slide down the stairs to the lobby and hit my ultimate on the way into the lobby, and my
Oh,
dupes
so good.
disperse throughout that lobby,
That's
and I
facts,
wiped them.
guys. I remember watching that part. I was like, he should really go down there and drop his ultimate and get them from behind. But I'm like, no, Justin doesn't do that shit though. And then he did it. Blew my mind.
I
I'm like, who is this man right now? I'm looking at my phone watching this. He's like, you need to watch this. And I was like,
yeah,
who is this?
yeah.
Real
No,
talk.
I can't. It still blows me away.
I can't believe, bro. I still can't believe you did that shit, man.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous.
Come on,
The ending
reconnect,
to
you
that
stupid stream.
video, man. That ending.
The
Oh,
ending of
was
that is I still can't believe that happened either.
no,
Sorry
for real.
guys, my internet was being dumb for some reason. Um, no man,
No,
I
he's
can't.
back. He's back
I
over
am
there.
back.
His
Yep,
stream is kicking you back.
I'm
Yeah,
back now. Yeah,
he's
I'm
back.
about 10 seconds live. It takes a second to reconnect. I
I
apologize.
won't. I'm not gonna continue our story unless he's here. I'm not gonna do that.
No,
That's
no,
just
no, no,
crazy
no.
talk.
I am right here.
He's
But
here. Don't worry. Don't worry.
I'll be solid. Like the audio and everything will still run through your video. I'll just
Oh,
have
that's true.
I'll have a drop in my stream, but I'll definitely have I record my streams on top of streaming them live. So I have
Oh, good.
I have an unbroken copy of this video which will be posted on YouTube, so you guys won't miss anything. But no, like that I have a video for just about every single one of the characters I've picked up. Definitely Mirage and Bloodhound and Caustic.
Caustic for
And
sure. Yeah, I was gonna say.
I think I mentioned that before with my Fusey, because I feel like Fuse was really easy for me to pick up. And perfecting my
Yeah.
Fuse took obviously the whole time I played him, but I feel like a lot of the times that I played were kind of the same. If you link the video where you feel like that is like my I am Fuse,
Oh, for sure.
did I post? I need to jump into my YouTube and see. Did I ever post?
You did.
Did I post an
Yes,
I am
you did.
Fuse?
Yes, you did.
Did I?
Yeah, it's not called I am fused because you didn't feel like it back then. But I always say that it is your one, the one that really captures everything. I can't remember if it's you. It's with a Craver. You're on Grow Towers, and it's that wall
Right.
that kind of lines
That's
it up. That's the
a
one.
that's a team duality one. Was
Yes,
that
it
me sniping
because
from
I
the ramp?
was- No, 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 no. You're on Grow Towers. Like you're in the.
Oh, wait.
You're like in the last one, like the far northeast tower. And you have the Kraber. Yeah, no, I love the Kraber too. No, but you have
Yeah, the
the
Kraber's a good
Kraber,
one.
and you're just like bang bang, and you're knocking down these guys, and then you're like, move up, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm in, and then we freaking leap into it, and it's really great. Now that's the one. That one always will ring out to me because, like I said, adaptability comes through there almost immediately in that particular moment. So, in my personal opinion, that's what was that was the theme behind your fuse, was adapting to a long-range gameplay, even though you at the time you weren't really running a long-range
Yeah,
weapon
that's very
because
true.
you were in between your G7 and repeater, but you were still learning the repeater, so it was kind of like a half and half, if you will.
Yeah.
So I always think about that and how quick it was for you to adapt to that situation in particular. So yeah, that's the one. At least for me. I don't know.
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
You
I
can tell me
haven't.
otherwise, and I'd probably still believe you. But like, hey,
Yeah. No, I haven't. If you find that one, let me know. I'm seeing a couple of ones that happened on Olympus, but I can't really see which ones were there. But
mm-mm.
yeah. No, those are like my staples. I had a couple good matches with Seer. I remember trying him out a little bit, but I didn't stick with
That's
Seer.
true.
Oh,
Seer was like it was an interesting bag of tricks. That guy.
it's a filler character.
For real.
Well, I'd hate to throw him under the bus, but yeah, that's
It's
definitely a
not.
filler character. But yeah, guys, that's this game. This game has had a bigger impact on both of us than most people would tell you. And
What most people would share with you willingly.
there you go. Yeah, would be open to share with you.
Mhm.
At this point, I don't really have, unless you have anything else you want to share. We've hit
Um,
we've hit a lot of
I
this
kind of
stuff.
we actually covered a lot today.
Yeah.
Um, Honestly, there's probably room for a part two kind of thing, but something that I would like to kind of add before we close up. I know it's around 10:30 and we both have stuff to do tomorrow, but um, if I could just say that regardless of how things ended, sour, we were both kind of upset with the game, how poorly handled it was being done within, I guess, I don't know, season 11 through 13.
Yeah.
Um, we still, actually, I'm sorry, I shouldn't speak for you, but I'll speak for myself in the sense that regardless of how it ended, I personally would not change anything of my experience.
Absolutely.
Reasoning behind that is because if I did, I probably wouldn't even be playing with you. I probably wouldn't be within your circle of friends right now because I retired in season 2. Not a lot of people know that or choose to acknowledge that. Even people that were our friends at the time, right? That called themselves our friends. They choose to ignore that fact because I'm still here. I was still present at the
Yeah.
time as well. But I retired because at that time I felt like I had officially capped off my ability there. I was a Wraith main at this time, guys. This was halfway through season 2. Just after the collection event, I left. And at some point or another, you actually reached out to me and you said, "Hey, I don't know what's going on, but I need my wingman." And
Yeah, it was the first time because I remember when I called. Were you dabbling with Bangalore at that time?
at this point, Bangalore was like a solid secondary, like if not my main by this point.
Yeah,
Um,
because I
like
remember when you
closest,
left. I remember when you left. That was when it was as apparent as a sore thumb that every other Bangalore
Ouch.
was actual dog trash. Every
He
other one.
always says this
Every other
for this
one.
particular
It's
point
a
in our
it's there
history,
is a
it's
there
true.
is a point recorded in history where I am playing with people and I'm just like, I have a friend who is the best Bangalore I've ever seen. And that was back
That's
in
right.
2000, what, not 2000, that was back in like season 2.
Season 2, season 3, yeah,
Season 2,
roughly, yeah.
season 3, yeah. And it was like, and
Yeah.
it was bad, dude. And it wasn't even my teammates, it was enemies too.
I believe it was Kat that was your Bangalore at that time.
Oh yeah, I was playing with Cat and
Yeah, she was your
shit. Who
Bangalore.
was the other one? Cat and
Game Boy.
the Game Boy. Yep. Oh, that was a good time. But no,
I
man,
remember
it was
that
like
video. I was retired. I was long ways away from Apex.
he was on
And
a
one day
beach in Maui, sipping on coconut drinks. He was
Yeah,
retired.
dude, I remembered. I was out there, guys. I was gone.
He was down in
And
Florida.
there was a night.
He was that retired.
Where I was just like watching one of the YouTube videos you uploaded, and I caught wind of that comment. Like I used to play with a Bangalore, and he was really good. And then Kat like interjects, is like, "Oh, you mean me?" And you're like, "No, I just kind of met you. I'm talking about some other one." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"Who is he talking about?" And I remember reaching out. I'm like, "I don't
Oh,
know.
yeah,
I
I
we haven't
remember.
talked to each other in a while, but like,
I just
if
saw
you're
your
talking
recent
about me, I
stream.
really appreciate it."
Yeah. I was like, hell yeah, I'm talking about you.
And I was like, "Oh, okay."
Ooh, woo, finger tap, sad face.
Oh my god, it was crazy, bro. Like I remember that, and then this guy calls me back, and then like you said, like you were having a struggle at the time, and I'll let you finish that
I
by
was
the
just
way. I
having
should,
teammate struggles at that point. I was dropping in
yeah,
everywhere.
bro.
But that was the point. Like I wasn't even playing with Cat and Game Boy in that particular moment when I had reached that point. I was just dropping in. I was trying to meet people, I was trying to chat. I was trying to have a good time and my teammates were trash. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was just like, and I think I mentioned that in the text too. I was just like,
Yes,
bro, you have spoiled me. It's like,
that's the
I need
fact.
you
I
to come
remember that.
back. It was like,
Yeah,
I
no, that's
need my
right.
wingman to come back. You have spoiled me with your Bangalore. I need
Literally word
help.
for word. Yeah, and then not even a day later, bro. Probably the same fucking night. I came back, and that's all
Yep.
it took. You can fly with me anytime. You know, some
Yeah.
Iceman
Yep.
Maverick
Iceman
shit.
Maverick shit. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Literally, that's what I saw. That's what I felt, and I think I even compared it to that shit that same day.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like,
You did bring it up. Yep.
I think every time we talk about this particular moment in our history, I think I'd call it that as
Yeah.
well.
The Iceman Maverick moment.
That
Yeah.
yeah, that's our Top Gun moment,
Yeah.
and I came back for that reason. And later on, during my Bangalore heirloom stream, I believe you paid me probably like the biggest compliment I've ever received ever. And you were just like, playing without you was like the equivalent of looking out to a mountain range without a mountain. The mountains were missing.
Yeah.
I was like,
I was like,
what?
I need you to just picture World's Edge, the entire mountain thing, with the whole bird thing, the Trials Bird Mountain thing. Just picture the map without that mountain, and that is this game without playing with you.
Wow. That's so crazy, bro. Like every time, man. Like it sounds so interesting that to me, to hear your perspective on what it's like to have me with you. You know what I mean, on your
Yeah.
team. Because it's like I don't think of myself that highly. And I like everyone does this, but everyone is their own greatest critic. And for
Yes.
me, I could always be doing better. Um, like I was thinking about this today. Oh, nice. You look great. Um, and I was thinking about this today before I left for home from work, and I kind of had a laugh because I said this to you a couple weeks ago when we were just kind of vibing during your editing one night, and I said that the biggest joke about our time here in Apex Legends, and this is what I wanted to say earlier, was that even though we've had like a terrible time towards the end of our experience here,
Yeah.
we would probably still come back, especially you. Even if it's just like a social thing, just to like play with some people that are in your chat or whatever it
Yeah.
is, you would probably still come
In some
back.
way, shape, or
But the
form.
in some way, shape, or form, yeah. And the real punchline I told you was the fact that even though I don't want anything to do with this game moving forward with my life, I would still want you to call upon me as your wingman. And the fact of the matter is, the real punchline, like the punchline of the punchline, is the fact that I would say yes.
Yeah.
I'll come back. And the reason why is because, like I said, even though it sounds ridiculous, I always feel like I owe you that I have to come back, even if I have nothing to do with it. I always feel like I would rather you have me on your team than deal with some schmuck who doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
And I would be happier knowing that I'm on your team than rather having some random like rando guy
Yeah.
on there giving you a hard time because he doesn't understand you or how you do things or why you do those things. I would rather you be comfortable, and that's why I would always come back.
Yeah, and that's the fact of the matter is that I know for a fact that anyone else I play with is not going to look at 75% of the game. Because you see 100% of the game.
That's fair. That's very fair. It's so true and it's fair. Like that's 100%.
I was just like, why would I buy the
that.
full screen DVD when I can have the IMAX enhanced Blu-ray over here? Come on.
That's so accurate. I love it. IMAX boys. Yeah.
IMAX enhanced. Let's go.
Honestly, guys, there's so much more that we could tell you. There's so much ups and downs, so many negatives that we could add to this.
We had a lot of psychological trips.
Yeah.
Honestly, we shared quite a bit of it. I mean, I did anyway. I shared a lot of mine, a lot of my heavy stuff there in the beginning. But I mean,
if it's any if I honestly, I could tell you guys about my personal one that was really rough. If we have the time, I don't know. Do we have time?
We got a little bit of time.
We got a little bit of time. We have about 15 minutes. You know what? I'll give you guys a rundown as to how crazy it got for me. I played this game for 12 hours a day, on my days off and off work whenever I had the opportunity. And that would start at 6 o'clock in the morning. I would enter the firing range. For 12 hours, I wouldn't get off until about 3 or 4 p.m. I didn't eat, I didn't sleep, nor did I even take care of myself, like nourishment, water, food, nothing. I would play for 12 hours straight, just gaining here, learning, teaching myself about my favorite legend, that's Bangalore. And I gave her all my time and effort, all my love and appreciation and my dedication to this character, to the point where I played my thumbs raw, and I was like, oh, that hurts, but I still haven't mastered my smokes yet. And oh, Agent Retro and Maddie just signed on. Oh, there's their invite. What's another 4 hours? So we did it. From 8 p.m. all the way to through midnight. A full day's gaming of Apex. Not only was I in already for 12 hours straight, in the firing range, teaching myself how to play this legend front to back with every weapon imaginable.
He still had to be social at the end of all that.
I still had to be social, but here's the problem. Not only did I play my thumbs raw before those notifications showed up, but because I had to be the hero and be the best Bangalore ever and be the best teammate ever, I kept playing to the point where my thumb split open and bled all over my controller. That is a fact. I have the scars to prove it. I played so intensely to the point where I had to wear bandages over my thumbs for 2 weeks. And I had to change them routinely, clean them out, disinfect it, and I kept doing it. Because I refused to be a bottom tier Bangalore. Because I believe that this character, this all-time, my favorite legend ever, deserved the dedication that I thought she deserved. So I played to the point where my thumb split open and bled everywhere. My brother caught me applying the bandages, the disinfectant, touch-ups, everything. And he asked me if I was okay. And I said yes. Because I thought by giving my dedication to a fictional character to the point of being the best, being known as the best, to the point where my dedication to this character became known to as given to me as a name, as a title, as the Bangalorian, by like 4 different people, including Justin himself, Agent Retro.
Yeah.
Mad Gal Maddie, freaking Baba Yaga Alex, I love you, man. If you're watching, I love you so much. You were the best caustic ever. Straight up, crazy shit. Fucking awesome guy. And then we had Forest Green. She was great, good person up until a certain point. But all 4 of you guys collectively looked at me and saw my dedication to this one character who I refused to give up to anybody. And you guys unanimously named me the Bangalorian because of my dedication.
Yep.
Agent Restro did not know about my split thumbs until very much later into our friendship. I didn't tell him about my thumbs until season 7. He didn't know that, and when he found out, he checked me since then. Like every now and then, he's like, "Are you good?" And I'm like, "I'm good." "Are you sure you want me to keep playing?" "I can't keep playing." "Are you sure? And I'm like, yep. Okay. And then we would drop in, but he would check me every now and then.
Yep.
He kept me in check ever since. I went hardcore. I played this game to a point where I literally devoted my mental and physical health to it. And I thought it was okay.
It's hard.
It doesn't sound real, but it was. And it is. Like, that's a
Yep.
part of my history. I got my title from these 4 people who I truly loved and adored and believed that they deserved the best of me, my 200%, whether they knew it or not. I studied. I wrote a notebook. It's there. Roughly 40 to 50 pages of me taking notes on not only my legend, but their legends of choice at the time. I knew their weaknesses. I knew their positives. I could tell them where they could be at if they truly tried at the time to improve. Because not only did I see how they played, but I also took the time to learn their legends, to study their legends, and play them at their level, and then play them at mine to see how full their potential could be.
Sounds familiar.
That's why I believed in them. I still believe in you. I still believe that even now you could be even better. And that's part of the punchline. Because if you were to ask me, do you think you did enough? And I said yes. I will say yes. I definitely did enough. I give my heart and soul to this character and this game.
Yeah.
But the funny part is, I will always say, yes I did, but I could always have been better. Because my goal, every single time, and he can tell you this, my goal in life in Apex Legends was to be better than I was in my previous match.
Yep.
That's how I learned. That's how I trained myself. I trained my heart and soul into the grinder, just like I threw it in there without any understanding of the repercussions that would come within that. And I went hardcore.
Yep.
That's how hard it went.
Yep.
Did I earn my title? Hell yeah, I did.
Yeah, you did. Even when you didn't think you did, I told you did.
Yeah, that's right. This guy never let me feel defeated. Even when I did feel defeated, and I had a mental breakdown right in front of him,
Sending me
always pick myself up.
Sending me texts like, "Was my Bangalore good enough?" I was like, "You shut the fuck up."
Not only did I pick myself up, but then fall immediately after, but he was there to pick me up as well and carry me through it. This is my best friend. Always will be. No matter what happens in the near future or the distant future. He could be accused for murder, and he'd still be my best friend, because not only did he see me at my finest, but he saw me at my worst. And he still believed in me, and not only did he believe in me, but he picked me up and carried me through some of the hardest shit in life. He knows what I'm talking about. He knows what happened to me. And he's still stuck by me. Which is why the greatest punchline in our career is that he could come back to this game, no matter how terrible the game is in its current state or afterwards or whatever.
It's pretty rough.
And all he would have to tell me is, hey, I need your help, and I would be back like lightning. Why? Because he deserves it. Because he helped me, and that's more than enough for me to come back. Every single time. Every single time. Not only that, but you genuinely make me laugh, so there you go.
I'm a buffoon, to be sure.
Hey man.
I'm also a baboon at times.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. Like, you have your moments, man, but it's good, man. I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't change nothing, because hey man, like, if I didn't come back after you called me in during season 2, who knows what we would be doing right now.
Yeah. Nah, man, you've made me laugh as well. You've come in here telling me some some amazing stories about your dad reading you comic books. You come in here
Yeah, man.
talking to me about your Ronald McDonald Fruitopia dream that you had the
Oh my
night
God.
before. That is still the funniest shit I have ever heard come out of your mouth.
Best. Probably one of my best stories.
It's
It's not
amazing.
the best.
The crazy part is the impression. The visual is a fun anime sequence, but the visual is literally you fighting Pennywise dressed up like Ronald McDonald.
Hell yeah.
Your impression is perfect. It's like an SNL Pennywise. It's perfect. Oh my god. Oh, that's another video. You definitely need to watch
Honestly,
that
yeah.
video. It's amazing. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
no, for real.
But no, just long and short of this, we have had a very long career in this game. We had a very solid run in like the first eight seasons. It started burning out really hard around the seasons after that, and
Yeah, after season 8, yeah.
yeah, and then this
We
game,
questioned our purposes in here
we
too.
really did.
As goofy as that sounds, guys, we really did
We did.
question everything we did moving forward, yeah.
Yeah, it's just the lack of care for the community and the lack of care for the game was just making
Yeah.
us question if all the time the last 2.5 years that we put in here was
At the
even worth all the
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And it always loops back to that. When you have a doubt in your mind, you can follow the trail of breadcrumbs all the way back to the solid logic that
Always.
reassures yourself. And at the end of this, I walked away and found my best friend. And I walked away
Me too,
with
me
my
too.
best friend from this game. And that's what I walk away from this game with.
Me too. Same. 100%.
He has
Wouldn't
said
change a thing. Not a thing.
he's said numerous times throughout his career that he's retired, and he has mentally been retired, but he pulled me out of a very dark headspace when I was disassociating from him,
Bro.
from anyone, and he pulled me out of a very dark space that I didn't even know I was in. That's when I retired from this game, and that's when I was done. And tonight
I
we're
just wanted my friend back.
dude, that's what got me. Like, you sat there and genuinely told me it wasn't laced with Apex, undertones or anything about my career or playing the game at all. It wasn't laced with anything. It was literally, I don't even recognize you anymore. And I was like, what have I been doing different? It's like everything. It's like, yeah, I don't feel like I can talk to you, and that was it.
I knew there was something wrong when your timing with your dupes was off. When,
was bad.
When call-outs slowly but surely stopped coming in.
Go for it, Angel.
When you, oh man, when you asked me to EMP but the timing was off, I was like,
Oh, that was bad.
bro, I was like, dude, you've never done that.
Yeah, my
Ever.
EMP's never been off.
But that one time you called it and it hit nothing, I was like,
That was a
who the
bad
fuck is
one.
this? Like, who is this? I
Yeah.
said to myself. I was like, who? I remember asking you there too, like off camera. I was like, bro, who even are you? Like, what
Yeah.
happened? For real. I was
It didn't process then.
No,
That's the
I
crazy
remember
part
we
is
were
you were being honest with me with
dude,
those questions and
I'm-
shit. You were genuinely asking me this stuff, and I wasn't even processing what you were asking me.
I was like, I remember we were at the bar in a different game, guys.
Yes,
we
there's
we don't we are not neighbors, or we're not even remotely physically near
no.
each other.
We're actually in
15
different
hours away.
countries.
Yeah, we are in completely different countries. But we were in a game and it had a bar, and I looked at him and I told him, I was like, dude, I don't recognize you. Everything's different. I actually feel very uncomfortable trying to talk to you because I feel like I can't. And like you said earlier in the video, I said, if you want to close the door on this, that's totally fine. I will walk away, but until that moment happens, I'm not going anywhere. I'm here until that moment comes. And that was that was like the realest thing I've ever said to you ever.
And it's interesting
And-
because the trigger phrase you had that actually started like cracking that disassociating show was, "I don't feel like I can talk to you anymore."
Yeah. No, that was
It was
it,
like,
man.
because I
Real
don't
talk.
I never that was never something I wanted to hear you say. And it's like, and that was it. I was like, wait. There's like, I actually need to look at this. What is he actually telling me? Like, because we weren't in Apex. Because a lot of the things you said directed at me, I always took. If we were playing the game, I always kind of took it as talking about my gameplay. I was like, oh, I can work on myself.
And that was never the intention.
Yeah.
I never meant to criticize or sound like I was.
But that's the thing. It's like I always, in Apex, I always kind of took it that way. I was like, oh, okay, I'll work on this, work on that, yada, yada. But even then, I had disassociated and was so anxiety riddled, I didn't even know how to, I didn't even know how to push myself to be better in the game.
Yeah. Yeah. It was super strange to me. Even now, looking back and thinking about it. It still feels like I was like, I'll look back at some of that footage and I'll be like, who you, what? Like,
what happened?
Like, what happened?
Yeah.
You know, for real. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's scary. It's scary to think about when you come out on the other side of all that.
Yeah.
But I'm just at that point, I'm just happy that I had someone there who was willing to sit down with me in a bar, in a video game, with a beer in my hand. And just let me know. This is not my friend.
Last attempt too. I remember just like, if this doesn't work, nothing will.
And that's the sad part, is he says that's his last attempt, but he's attempted before. And I didn't catch it.
Oh my god.
And he told me about the times he caught it. He told me.
Yeah.
In that last time, I was like, I don't even remember that.
No, you know, the one that really always sticks out to me is that for those of you that don't know, I have a stutter that kind of like activates whenever it feels like. And there was a night we were with oh shoot, I forgot his name. Apologies. We were out in a storm point, and I took a kill, got him down, you know, knocked him. My kill, was gonna loot him, and you came in, and you looted everything, and I was like, I needed all that. And Riley.
Oh, right.
And Riley was there, and he was like, oh, I'm sorry, I took some of that, and then he dropped it for me, and I'm like, it's cool. He took the gun that I needed from that box. It's fine. And then Riley did his best through his in-game, you know, sign language to tell me that it was okay, that he was sorry, and I'm like, it's not your fault. After that match, I left, and you're like, hey, let's meet up in the firing range and talk, and like, I'll do editing and whatever. And I snapped, and I was like, yo, I don't appreciate you like coming in and making fun of my stutter. Like, what the hell is that? And you know, that really needs to stop. And then the thing that was super crazy was like that you apologized for it, and like the next day you immediately started doing it again. Yeah, that was when I knew something was definitely wrong. And because like you got emotionally charged with that apology too, and I was like, oh shit, things might have changed, but not even a day later.
No.
Immediately happened again. And my last attempt was taking you into Deep Rock Galactic next to the bar, and I was like, look, this is the one place that I feel like is a neutral ground for me and him, and I was like, I gotta tell him here.
It worked.
I have to tell him. And I was like, I'm gonna put a beer in his hand, and we're gonna sit over here, and I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah.
That this shit's not working anymore. And I ran the numbers and everything, and I told you, I was like, I got 20 kills not playing with you in comparison to playing with you where I only get 2 through the entire night. And I got 3 or so wins playing by myself with complete randos.
Didn't get a single one with you.
And I didn't even get one with you in like
Sorry, this
seasons.
stream's cutting out again.
Like,
yeah.
No, it's all good. No, and I was, you know, I was just being really honest. I was like, I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm just telling you that something is wrong.
Yeah.
And it as unreal as it sounds sometimes, but that was the last attempt for me, and I was gonna stick it out even after that. And you know, my one rule when it comes to cutting somebody out of my life, they have to fuck up in such a major way for me to really do that. And at that point, we were close.
Yeah.
Not only was like that happening with the stutter and like straight up pulling a Maddie and like taking my stuff out of my win, my kills and whatever, And I was like, where is he? Like, what happened? And I told you, I was like, I just want my friend back. I don't know where he went, but like, if I can help you, give me the chance to do it.
Yeah.
And if you don't want me around and you need to close that door, I told you, I was like, just say so, and I'll walk away. I'll do it.
Yep.
And as real as it is, man, like that's just the way it was. And we like both retired that night because we realized that it was costing us our friend,
It was.
like each
Oh,
other.
yeah.
And
Everything that this game had given us and what we had created here was essentially being torn down by the same thing that created it.
exactly. Now I'll always be the Bangalorian, man. Like that that title encapsulates and it incorporates and inherits everything that it is that it was that I put out here in this game.
Yeah.
And that's it carries through through my history, whether it's Black Ops Cold War, Recon, or freaking Deep
Anything.
Rock,
Yeah, anything.
anything. My personality is in that name. And to me, man, you're always going to be Agent Retro. You're always going to be the Illusionist Supreme. You're always going to be all those things and more. You'll be Super Mario, you'll be Superman, you'll be all that. No matter where we go. And I told you this before too. You're like, would you come back because of the nostalgia? And I'm like, what do you mean nostalgia? That's never changed.
Yeah.
We haven't changed as people in the sense of, oh, I'm no longer Super Mario. Oh, I'm not Luigi, or I'm not Batman, Superman. That's never changed.
Yeah.
It's not nostalgia, I told you. It would be because I genuinely feel like I owe my friend my time, my effort, my appreciation, my love, my
Yeah.
friendship, my unity as a teammate, as a friend, as a brother, as a, what the fuck, whatever. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. I feel like you deserve that time because you gave me yours. And that's enough for me.
Yeah.
You gave me a space to be safe, to be welcomed, to be me. It's the saddest truth ever to admit that no one who has ever called themselves my friend in person, who I've actually physically met, has ever given me that. It had to be a complete stranger in the middle of freaking United States
I am in
to
the middle.
give me that opportunity. That's what I'm saying. And that's why
Yep.
I will always come back and give you my time because you allowed me the opportunity to give you mine and vice versa. That's the way it is. Always. Oh, Angel says that she asked you a question.
She was going to. My stream cut out. I apologize. Yes.
Oh,
Definitely ask your question, Angel. I'm sorry for my stream. It's my internet was
mhm.
being weird earlier. I should have reset it before I went live. I'm sorry.
No, but that's my half, man. I'm good.
Yeah.
I said my piece, you said yours, man, and honest to God, man, like with all the leaks that came out the other day and me reading about it and actually catching up today. Oh, it's for both of us. What's your question?
Oh, go for it.
Oh yeah, I would love that. I would love to answer that before our closing
Yeah.
statements here. Are we friends? Wow.
Are we friends?
As in like,
Me and him,
or as in
or
like
us and you?
us and you? Could you be just like a tiny bit more specific? Absolutely. Us and you? Absolutely. I would
Yeah.
like. I'll speak for myself. I'll say yes.
Yeah.
I'll say yes because not only. Here's the thing. I myself personally never wanted to be a streamer. You know, I never wanted to be a streamer because I wasn't sure if I had the personality for it. Agent Retro always told me that I did. He would honestly almost daily encourage me at one point. And now I'm here streaming with him, myself, by myself, whatever. And I see people coming in and I see you guys watching and you comment and whatever, you know. And I feel like that makes you a friend of mine because you stuck around long enough to learn, you know.
Mhm.
And you guys stuck around because of that. You wanted to know, you know, and I feel like that's meaningful to me. That means something to me. That you dedicate your time and your effort to learn and to
Yeah.
stick around and watch us do our thing. I'll do my thing. I'll speak for myself. Sorry, I don't, like speak for both of
Oh
us or
no,
anything.
you're good.
But I would say that if you're going through a rough time right now, I'm not gonna. I'm just assuming, right? Like I'm just kind of generalizing. If you're going through a rough time, and I would say, one step at a time. Like I always say at the end of all my streams and some of my videos, take the first step. Whether it sounds difficult at the moment to hear, I would always say that, as a follow-up, take the first step. It's always going to be difficult, but the fact of the matter is you decided to take it. And you don't know what's on the other side, but hey,
You won't know until you
it
take
might
that
be.
first one.
You won't know until you take it. Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know yet that it's worth it, but when you get there and you realize that it is, that's all that really matters at the end of the day, man.
Yeah.
Regardless of what it is that you're going through,
Yeah.
you will find that moment when it counts. It might not seem like it at the time, but when you look back and reflect, you'll notice it.
Yeah.
I promise you that.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's the facts there.
Yeah.
One step at a time, guys. Always.
Yep. And at the end of this road that we've taken with this game, I walk away from the game with my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't played this game in a couple months now, and in those couple months, it's been fun because we've been playing other stuff. We just finished
yeah.
a playthrough of Resident Evil 5, currently playing It Takes Two, and got 3 other games lined up for after those are done. And
It's
I have
crazy that
been,
we do already.
I
Oh,
have
boy.
been, I have been. Have you felt that too? I have just felt like a massive, like, muscle release. Like my muscles in my body just feel so much less stressed that I don't feel stuck in this game.
Hell yeah, man.
And just playing something else has felt so much, it's felt so refreshing. And it's given me the opportunity to actually have fun and enjoy the game for what the game is giving me, not what I'm trying to create in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And it has been such, this game has been and will be a chapter in my life.
For sure.
There is a chapter in my life titled Apex Legends, and that is what everything we told you tonight is going to be. But I'm turning the page on that chapter. And if this game ever changes for the better, I might want to pick it up again.
Hell yeah.
But I'm not seeing any signs of that anytime soon. And I have spent way too much time here and way too much mental energy stressed in this game. So for the betterment of my mental and physical health, I'm stepping away from this game. And I'm gonna toast to everything that we've done and everything we do in the
Here,
future.
here. Amen.
We made these. Well, I had these cups made for us. His looks better than mine because his is not a typo. Mine says Agent Retro on the label with the Apex logo on the side. His says the Bangalorian, respectfully.
Holding up the camera now. Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
I appreciate this, man. I really
Oh,
do.
it's
I know I didn't say too much about it when we first talked about it, but I really do appreciate it.
no,
And,
it's just my pleasure.
at first, I wasn't too sure about the Apex logo, but when I actually held it in my hand, I kind of it ended up feeling right. Yeah.
Yeah, and this is it's representing us closing everything we did in the game. It's closing the chapter, our chapter of Apex Legends, and that's what this is closing out. Um, like I said, if the game ever changes, I might pick it up again. At this point, I'm good. And I want to thank everybody for coming out and experiencing and understanding a lot more about us and our journey with this game. I did a lot of my streaming career in this game, and it was hard for me when I thought about moving on to something else because I felt like I had kind of developed my brand in this game. But I do not feel that way anymore. I have been playing so much more other things and hanging out with so many more people and have realized that I am what makes my stream. I am what makes my brand. It is not the game that I play. So I'm here.
Wow, that is so refreshing to hear.
No, dude, this game has this game has nothing to
Yeah.
do with Agent Retro.
Wow.
Agent Retro has been in this game before and has made something for himself in this game. This game is not a part of Agent Retro anymore. And I'm toasting to all the good things I've done in this game, and I'm turning the page on this chapter. My dude, cheers to you, everything
Cheers.
you've done. You are
Amen.
a staple. You deserve a bronze statue in-game on the hill where our Mario Brothers trailer sits on World's Edge right now.
Hallelujah, man. Thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Everybody, thank you for tuning in. We're going to sign off after this, but thank you for hearing our story in this game, and thank you for being here to witness and hear all of it. It's been a ride.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much for stopping by, for real.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Angel, for being here.
Yes.
I really do appreciate you stopping by our streams together. I know you're probably running like 3 different phones
Yeah,
right now to
yeah,
keep
for
this going,
real.
but thank you for being here tonight.
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I almost lost it when I saw you come in.
Yeah.
I was just about to cry, and I was like, "Fuck,
Yeah.
she's here."
Yeah, yeah. Oh, thank you so
you know
much.
what I mean? But thank you so much for coming by.
Yeah.
You know, thank you everybody. If I could just touch a little bit. Thank you to all the friends we made. Thank you for all the enemies we made along the way, the friends that we lost, the people we lost, the haters,
Yep.
the people who and cheered us on. Because you guys really got us here. You know, regardless if it was love or hate, it pushed us that much harder to get here.
Yep.
And you know, things might have gotten rough, things might have been miraculous, but I wouldn't change anything.
We are who we are today because
we are
of
who
you.
we are. We are damn straight. Legends are made. You know, we go through our own crucibles in our own way, but that's at the end of the day, that's what we're here for.
Yep. So yep.
Oh wow, Angel, that's amazing. Thank you for that. Apparently, Angel has our notifications for both of our streams. That's crazy.
Yes.
Man. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow. Before we close up, I wanna get you into the firing range together. I wanna do some like a good salute, you know.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
A little military salute type thing. I had the script here, but I can't find it anymore. So I'm gonna do my best.
Alright, let me get into
You'll watch me, I guess, or something. Oh, dude,
I gotta get. I gotta get into mine.
Yes, please. Let me see that blue one last time
Which
until
one?
future
Which blue one?
the future.
Oh, your
The
blue
highlight one,
boys?
bro. That blue
Oh!
one, man.
All
Give me
right.
give me your
My
original skin.
original,
For those of you
my...
guys that don't know, these the ones that you're seeing on screen momentarily, including his and mine.
Yup.
These are the original skins that we met in
From
and played
season
with
2.
from seasons almost from season 0 all the way
Yep.
to through 2.
Yep.
These were our skins. These were the ones we were known for by our friends and enemies and
Yep.
everyone
This was
else.
my retro skin. I ran this as my agent retro skin.
That was the retro skin, dudes. Like literally your whole brand kind of revolves around this color scheme. And
Yeah, my brand at the time was very sky blue, neon.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is lore, guys. This is the shit you
Yeah.
find on Wikipedia.
Yeah, yeah.
So to do this right, I would love it if we met in the middle platform, over here.
Let's check out this area.
Just because there's a lot of history for me here as well as you.
Yeah.
I think we did our first interview here as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna grab the hemlock because for those of you that don't know the lore behind our careers here, the hemlock is the weapon that I chose to run for the majority of my career,
Yeah.
and I also happened to train Retro with the hemlock at one
Yeah,
point.
he did.
Um,
He converted me, so to speak.
and it was one of the happiest moments of my life. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just kind of meet up in the middle.
I'm gonna
You'll
rock.
watch me.
I'm gonna rock
and then-
mine.
Okay.
And I
So
I feel like
we'll,
I feel like the 99 is mine.
So we'll that's actually perfect. Grab your attachments. Do
Oh,
all
it's
the
actually
things.
this one. Do that.
I don't think.
Oh, it
it's
doesn't
kinda
take barrel stabilizers anymore.
Yeah, it's laser sights now.
Yeah, weird.
Wow. So we'll face each other. We'll I'll say present arms, and we'll inspect weapons at that point. We'll do like this, bam, and then we'll about face and face the
Let's go.
Middle
these guys
banner.
over here.
Yep.
Middle banner, and then fire, and then we'll shoot, and that'll be our last big.
Empty
salute.
a
We'll
clip,
shoot three
or-
times. We'll shoot 3 times. Bang, 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 bang.
Right, I'll pulse 3
Okay.
times.
I'll shoot in single fire just so we're at the same pace.
Okay,
Okay.
gotcha.
Here we go. We'll do present arms. Weapon inspect. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
About face. Fire.
Popping smoke.
Fire. Fire.
I'm out of light ammo.
Right on. I felt good. I feel great.
Hey. You ready? Toss it.
Ready? Toss it. Wow. That shit was heavy. Thanks, man.
Oh, we're not done. We gotta leave.
We're not done?
Nope.
What?
We gotta
Where are we
leave.
going?
We're just leaving.
Oh shit, you right.
We just gotta leave.
Wow. Wow. Yeah.
We spent a lot of time here, guys. has been a very, very big part of my life, of our lives. And it got to a point where it was keeping us from moving forward. And I really want to keep moving forward.
I'm not stopping for nothing, man.
I look forward.
Never.
I look forward to everything else we experience together. I look forward to the good times that we'll have that are different from the types of good times that we had here, but will still be great nonetheless. Thank you, everyone who came to listen to our story. I would hope that you guys would check this out on YouTube and just experience all of it if you're just tuning in. It's a ride. We've been here for a while, but we're done. We're ready to move on to something new. So all of you big time streamers out there who are really questioning whether to stick around, just do yourself a favor and go play something else.
Just go play something else, man.
It's not worth
You'll actually have more fun.
You will have more fun. Probably meet some great people. And you'll do yourself, your mental and physical health, you will do it a favor. I hope you all have a fantastic night and a great day tomorrow. I'm Agent Retro. He's the Bangalorian. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. See ya.